Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news from ESPN's Shams Charania. The NBA is likely to begin an investigation into the 76ers surrounding center Joel Embiid and whether there's been a violation of the participation policy. Embiid did not play in the preseason, out at least the first 3 regular season games due to left knee injury management. Sixers president of basketball ops Daryl Morey told ESPN earlier this month they'll try to keep Embiid and Paul George out of back-to-backs this season. Chiefs bringing in a big-name wide receiver, working to finalize a trade to acquire DeAndre Hopkins from the Titans for a conditional 2025 fifth-round pick. Certainly, Kansas City has a need at the position due to injuries. ESPN NFL analyst Andrew Hawkins.
It gives them another reliable option. Like for Patrick Mahomes, someone who can extend the play the way that he does, he needs guys who are reliable options that understand what he's seeing from his own defense and also have the ability to make contested catches. And that's what DeAndre Hopkins still brings to the table.
Browns will start quarterback Jameis Winston this week. Offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey takes over play-calling duties. Panthers start QB Bryce Young Sunday in place of the injured Andy Dalton.
Why pay more for a great shave? Choose Barbasol, America's #1 brand of shaving cream. Barbasol's thick and rich lather gives you a close, comfortable shave for just half the price of gels. Barbasol.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Woo!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yes. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Saints re-signed Alvin Kamara.
Hump day.
Did it roughly 30 seconds after the show ended yesterday.
It's hump day.
Thanks a lot, jerks.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Got some thoughts on it.
Hump day.
Mike Elko
It's hump day.
says LSU-A&M
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
is a $10 million matchup.
Hump day.
Actually, that's A&M's NIL budget on the defensive line.
It's hump day.
There it is. Taylor Calandro's here later.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Pels tip off today.
Hump day.
Scott Kushner next hour.
It's hump day.
David. We'll be here next hour.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Nailed it.
Hump day.
What, you keep looking at me? I don't.
It's
How
hump
do you
day.
say the man's name?
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to get a pronunciation from him.
I'm going to go with Droegemeier.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Sounds good. Meyer for sure at the end, but
Might be Mayer.
could be.
Hump day.
Russ Mitchell in hour 3.
It's hump day.
All right, we got a ton to do. Let's get going here. Glad to have you aboard with us here on this Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Right as we were signing off I mean, right as we were signing off Tuesday night, we got word that the New Orleans Saints and Alvin Kamara have agreed to a 2-year extension that'll keep Kamara in New Orleans through 2026. It is a 2-year deal worth $24 million, a little over $22 million of it guaranteed. Kamara gets the contract extension that he sought this offseason that he and the team were unable to come to terms on, but now they do it here with the Saints 2-5, headed to play L.A. in Week 8 against the Chargers. I am impossibly torn here, y'all. I am impossibly torn by this decision because I love Alvin Kamara. But I do not think this is best for the New Orleans Saints. Let me take each piece of those, and then I'll weave it together to make you understand. First of all, I'm thrilled because I love Alvin Kamara. Early in his career, we used to joke here that I would say, I don't love Alvin Kamara. I am in love with Alvin Kamara. It has gone to that level, my affection for him. He is one of my favorite Saints of all time. When I was a kid, my guy was Dalton Hilliard, had the 21 jersey. My first ever favorite player was Dalton Hilliard, and it would take a massive doing to overtake that degree of fandom from what you remember as a child. Now, Drew Brees is incredible. He's the best player in the history of franchise. It feels like that's a completely different category. But I love Alvin, and he came at a time where you had gone back-to-back 7 and 9 seasons. It felt like, if you remember those conversations, which might be hard to remember now, but 14, 15, 16, those back-to-back 7 and 9 seasons, it felt like the championship window with Peyton Breeze had closed. And when that 17 draft class came in, and Alvin was a huge part of it, it sort of reopened that championship window as we saw in 17, 18, 19, 20. And we know they got close but never got over the hump. He was the Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2017. He came in at that time and accounted for 1,500 yards from scrimmage and 13 touchdowns. And, man, off and running. At this point in his career, Alvin Kamara is the New Orleans Saints' all-time leader in touchdowns, all-time leader in rushing touchdowns, all-time leader in yards from scrimmage, all-time leader in all-purpose yards. He has hit pay dirt 85 times in his career. And on top of that, he's just awesome. Dude's over there munching on Airheads on the sideline. He's got his own Airhead. He's got his own cereal, the Kamara King Crunch. He's embraced New Orleans. There hasn't been any drama with Alvin Kamara. Even the loyalty. Think about this summer when Kamara said it, like when he wanted to, this is in July, where he talked about wanting to be in New Orleans, and it wasn't like he was chasing some crazy amount of money.
You know, I think I've always told you I want to be a Saint for a long time, for as long as my career goes. And that's really all I'm looking for, really. I mean, you know, some people will say the money don't matter. The money does matter, but in the grand scheme of things, I made a lot of money, and I do well off the field also. So there's kind of like a feel of like, okay, well, you know, I wanted to be fair, but at the same time, I'm not chasing nothing. You know what I'm saying? As far as money goes, I'm not chasing nothing that's outlandish or that's off-putting. That should be off-putting. So I don't know. I'm just doing my duty.
Even in spite of that, of his desire to get a contract, he still showed up for off-season workouts. He showed up for training camp. He showed up for the games. He's played with busted ribs this year, man. When Kendre Miller's out there babying a hamstring he pulled the first friggin' day, Alvin Kamara's out there with busted ribs busting his ass. I love Alvin Kamara. And I'm excited for him. And I want him to be in the black and gold. Period. New paragraph. What I don't like is what this says about the direction of the organization. Because Alvin Kamara is one of the few players on the roster that still has on-field value and a tradable contract. We talk about this a lot over the years. One of the things that restructuring contracts over and over and over does is it makes a player financially bound to you because nobody is going to trade for that contract. A team isn't going to give you an asset to get a player and that player's bad contract. So that was a lot. We went through this whole thing with Mike Thomas. People, hey, trade Mike Thomas. he's a broken down player with a terrible contract. Who's going to give you an asset for that? Nobody. He's free agent. Nobody's signing him. Cam Jordan, he's a declining player. No one's going to trade for Cam Jordan. If Cam Jordan were cut by the Saints, he were a free agent, someone would sign him, maybe see if he could be a rotational guy. But nobody's giving you an asset for Cam Jordan. You could look at Taysom Hill. The way that thing's structured, he's got $17.9 million on his contract for next year, 17.7 of it's dead money. So if you're the Saints, you could either pay $17 million to have Taysom on your roster or $17 million to not have Taysom on your roster. It's a wash. Of course, you want him. Kamara is one of the few guys that you could trade and get an asset. The New Orleans Saints, as an organization, as a roster, need to get younger and less expensive. Signing 30-year-old Alvin Kamara to a 2-year extension makes you older and more expensive. Alvin can still play, and he's worthy of that contract. Absolutely, he is. And I'm glad he'll be in New Orleans. But New Orleans isn't 30-year-old Alvin Kamara away from competing for a championship. And that's the problem. They feel like they are still competing, despite the fact that the entire organization is ablaze around you. You're 2-5. The loss of a center and a gadget player completely decimated your offense. I mean, we literally saw it half to half against Atlanta. You went from unstoppable, Taysom Hill gets hurt, can't do anything. Like, you are a house of cards. The first 2 weeks were a mirage. It wasn't real. I mean, the results were real. We saw it. The league adjusted. You got exposed. Injuries exposed your lack of depth and exactly what you are, and we've seen what's happened. I'm glad we get to see Alvin. We're just not going to get to see Alvin play on winning teams, and that's the disappointing part. And this only further solidifies the belief the Saints have that they are close to winning. But all it really does is guarantee the Saints are drifting further and further away from being a winning organization. I'm glad for Alvin. I'm glad he got paid. Happy we'll still get to rock the 41 jerseys all over the dome. But this tells you what the Saints view their organization, their roster as right now. They view it as an organization and a roster that is able to compete. And you and I and everyone knows they're not even close. But you'll have a shiny toy. It's like pulling the brand new sports car into the driveway of a broken down house that needs a new roof, new air conditioning, broken windows. You got bigger needs. Saints just don't seem to see it. We all do. They just can't see the forest through the trees. Alvin Kamara staying in New Orleans. Rock them Airheads, though. Fired up for it. All right, it's After Further Review. Show opens brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light. Hey, y'all, Friday, 5 p.m., that's when we are announcing the winner of the Taylor Swift Suite tickets. It's not too late to enter. Go to 1045ESPN.com. Right there on the homepage, you'll see the banner for the Taylor Swift tickets. These are sweet tickets, courtesy of our friends over at Mockler Beverage. Of course, our great Bud Light sponsor, Mockler Beverage, our local sponsor. They're sweet in the dome. They're giving 2 tickets for us to raffle off. So it's easy. There's no cost to enter. All you got to do is go to 1045ESPN.com, click the entry form right there on the homepage, fill it out, and boom, you're entered. Friday, 5 o'clock. We'll announce the winner. It's for the Sunday show. She's doing 3 shows, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Oh, man. I mean, this is the hardest ticket ever. But our friends at Mockler are giving away a pair of sweet tickets. Now, you must be 21. The winner must be 21, and the winner's guest must be 21. So if you're thinking, oh, I'd love to win it and bring the daughter or whatever, sorry, no one under 21 allowed in the Mockler Suite. So the winner and the winner's guest must be 21. They will check IDs. If you are under 21, you will not be allowed in the suite. So, but what a night it'll be. 3 nights. But for Sunday night, courtesy of our friends over at Mockler Beverage and Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of the LSU Tigers, official beer of the New Orleans Saints, and the official beer of AFR. Okay, let me not get a break, y'all. Hump Day shows are brought to you by Pluckers. We'll come back. Mike Elko referred to a certain matchup between LSU and Texas A&M as a $10 million matchup. You'll hear exactly what he was talking about next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Watermark Hotel, the Renaissance Hotel, two amazing hotel properties, Watermark Downtown, Renaissance Southtown. The Watermark, Baton Rouge's original high-rise building in downtown Baton Rouge. If you've not been in the Watermark Hotel, my goodness, what are you waiting on? And ever since they renovated the old Louisiana National Bank building, that has become one of the staples of the Baton Rouge skyline. And it is gorgeous. They've maintained so much of the rich history of that building. The beautiful marble staircase that goes down into what were the bank vaults. They've hollowed out those vaults and turned them into meeting rooms where people go have corporate events and whatnot with all the plug-ins and technology that you need. A great spot to host a luncheon or any type of corporate board meeting you may need. Look, if you're looking for a wedding reception venue, God, the Watermark is gorgeous. The Gregory, the restaurant right there in the lobby of the Watermark Hotel with that charcoal grill in the lobby. It's amazing. You got to check it out downtown if you've never been. Stop on by the Watermark Hotel.
The only thing scary about the deals at Bayou Ford is if you miss out on them. Like $15,000 off F-150. Bayou Ford has $15,000 off Ford F-150. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
We'll get to Taylor Calandro in about 15 minutes, about 25 minutes from right now, excuse me. Little Bourbon Dictionary. Scott Kushner to start hour number 2. Pels tip off the season tonight. They're a favorite in Chicago against the Bulls. So, Scott, who's going to be contributing with us this season, by the way, over at LouisianaSports.net with some of our Pelicans content. So we're very much looking forward to that. Make sure, of course, you check out LouisianaSports.net. LSU, Saints, Pels, Southeastern Conference, betting news and info. It's all there. It's all free, always, at LouisianaSports.net. So LSU heads to Texas A&M, and one of the matchups that both coaches and a lot of analysts are going to focus on is a good-on-good matchup with the Texas A&M defensive front and the LSU offensive line. Stop me if you've heard this before. Well, Mike Elko talked about that matchup in a way that, despite the fact that almost everybody LSU plays talks about that matchup, a defensive front against LSU's offensive line, Mike Elko talked about it in a way that had a little more color than anybody else had up to this point.
I think it's a great matchup. I kind of joked with our guys this morning. I said, there's $10 million cash on the line this weekend. Someone's going to go get it. So if you want it, it's yours. But yeah, no, it'll be a great matchup. It'll be a lot of fun. I think that's what happens in these types of games, right? You see these high-level players on both sides of the ball for both programs that get a chance to go up and go head-to-head against each other. And so, that's certainly one. And I think our running backs against their linebackers is another. Their wideouts. There's a lot of those types of matchups when you look at the game.
$10 million on the line. Well, when you look at a guy like Will Campbell, who is in everybody's top 10 in this upcoming draft. Emory Jones, who's sort of it depends on the mock draft you look at, a borderline first-round pick. You could certainly look at guys like Nick Scorton, Shamar Turner, guys who very well could hear their name called not only in round one, but early in round one. Nick Scorton, I'm looking at this mock draft from CBS Sports. They have Scorton as the 13th overall pick. They have Will Campbell going to the Jets with the 5th overall pick. So, yeah, you got a lot on the line with some elite offensive linemen and defensive linemen as well. It's a matchup that Brian Kelly also talked about when he was asked about today on the SC Coaches teleconference about what he's seen from that Texas A&M defense, not just on the defensive line, but at all levels.
I think defensively, it starts with their defensive line, athletic, play hard. And on the defensive side of the ball in particular, it's easy for me after being in it this long to know when you see a team that plays with an extra heartbeat, how they run to the ball, how they play with great enthusiasm, how they leverage the ball and tackle, the physicality, and that's in place.
I have a ton of respect for Mike Elko as a defensive coach. Look, this is an angle that a lot of people have talked about this week as well. Of course, Elko was Brian Kelly's defensive coordinator at Notre Dame. Left to go be the defensive coordinator at A&M. They got the head coaching job at Duke. Now is back at A&M as the head coach, as you well know. But these two guys know each other well. And Elko has done a great job as a DC when he was at A&M, when he was at Notre Dame. Did a great job as head coach at Duke, got this job. And he's got players now, unlike he's ever had before, when you talk about guys like Shamar Turner and Nick Scorton and York and Brooks and Lee and Williams and Ratcliffe and all those guys on the defensive side of the ball. They're really good defensively for A&M. But you got to forgive me, y'all. I just feel like I've heard this before. And I'm going to tell you today the same thing I said before LSU played Ole Miss. We have heard over and over and over, almost every game LSU plays. The same thing against Southern Cal. Man, it's good on good matchup. Got to block those great ends, that mean defensive front, really good defensive front seven. And then LSU goes out and through 7 games, they've allowed 2 sacks. Yeah, they can get got. There's no doubt. Landon Jackson came close to getting a sack on Saturday, beat Will Campbell. Nuss had just gotten rid of the ball, then got walloped. The only team to get a sack against LSU was South Carolina. They got 2. And all that week leading up to the South Carolina game, it was all about Kennard and Stewart, those great defensive ends, not to even mention guys like Tonka Hemingway on the interior of that South Carolina defensive front. And they caused some problems. They did, no doubt. And LSU still scored 38 on them. So, forgive me, but I've heard this. I've seen this movie. Ole Miss coming into Baton Rouge. Remember, Ole Miss, when they came to Baton Rouge, led the country in sacks, led the country in TFLs. It's Perkins. It's Uman Mielen. It's Walter Nolan. It's Pegues. It's all those guys. Chris Paul. It's all those guys in that defensive front 7. They create so many problems for offensive fronts. Game went to overtime. Ole Miss had no sacks and 2.5 TFLs. And that was an LSU team that really struggled to run the ball. Last week against Arkansas, look out for Landon Jackson. He's in a lot of first-round mock drafts. Arkansas, no sacks, 1 TFL. And LSU ran 81 plays. No sacks, 1 TFL. Again, I'm not saying they're invincible. I'm not saying there's no way A&M gets home against LSU's offensive line. Maybe they do. But if you do, you're going to have earned it, because at this point, what LSU's offensive line has earned is the benefit of the doubt. Because this isn't just a 4 or 5 or 6 game sample that we're drawing these conclusions from. We have seen this now from these guys collectively for 3 years. I mean, Will Campbell and Garrett Dellinger played next to each other for 3 years now. Miles Frazier and Emory Jones have played next to each other for 3 years now. DJ Chester, yes, he has been your lowest graded offensive lineman this season, and he has been a liability with snap infractions and false starts and giving up, bull rushes because he's a tall guy, and sometimes those big zero technique nose get under his pads and push him back. Yes, he's a young player that has a ways to go, but he's also flanked by 2 4-year starters that make up for a lot of what he lacks. And still, through 7 games, 2 sacks. They're judged by such an incredibly high standard. So maybe A&M is the team that gives LSU all kinds of hell. Maybe they sack Nuss 5 times in this game. Maybe they do. Crazy atmosphere, 108,000 people going nuts. The milkmen doing their whoops and swaying and yeehaws and everything. Maybe they're the one that does it. But if they do, they're an outlier. I look at them. The leading tackler is York, who's a linebacker. Brooks, Lee, both defensive backs. Williams, a linebacker. Ratcliffe, a DB. Their defensive line aren't the ones that stuff the stat sheet. Their defensive line, similar to LSU, free up the linebackers in the secondary to make the plays. Now, Nick Scorton is a guy we just said is in everybody's first-round mock draft. On the season, Scorton's got 19 tackles, 4.5 sacks, and 11 TFLs. That's really good through 7 games. Now, Braden Swinson's outpacing him. But if Scorton's 4.5 sacks, 3.5 of the 4.5, and 6.5 of his TFLs came in 2 games against Arkansas and Missouri. He got off against Arkansas. Sometimes that happens. This is just a different challenge with what you're going to be facing with LSU. And the other thing I'll point out as well, man, I know when we talk about a big physical active defensive front like A&M has, very similar to what you saw against Ole Miss. Like you could argue A&M's defensive front is better than Ole Miss's. I mean, you might be splitting hairs here. I mean, it's close, but you got first round and NFL talent in both defensive front sevens. I don't think LSU's got a ton of first round talent in their front seven. I think Whit Weeks certainly has the potential to be when his draft day comes. Braden Swinson looks like an NFL player for sure. We talked about this earlier in the week, y'all. LSU's run defense, which has been much maligned. LSU's run defense right now is 33rd in the country. You just faced an Arkansas team that averaged, coming into that game, 199 rush yards a game, and your run defense held them to 38 yards on the ground. Texas A&M's run defense, with all those great NFL players that are lauded and the high ceiling and everything. Remember I told you LSU's 33rd nationally in run defense? A&M's 36. Sometimes perception don't meet reality. LSU's run defense this year has performed better than Texas A&M's. By a hair, but better. You wouldn't perceive it that way. But Josh Williams met with reporters on Tuesday night, and he gave all the credit to that A&M run defense because they are really, really good. Listen.
We're looking at their D lineman, which is really stout, really large defensive lineman, can two-gap, play upfield. Linebackers are very smart players, great size, and they run sideline to sideline, so it should be a battle. We're focusing on all our run schemes, really going over our run blocks and understanding what we're trying to get out of the play design. So we're focused, so we're ready. They're
really good. Respect to Texas A&M. Mike Elko, great coach. They have really good players. They're very good. I've also seen other really good defensive coaches with really good players and really good scheme not get home against this LSU offensive line. So it's good on good. Mike Elko said, there's $10 million on the line. Somebody go get it. Like, if you're just looking at history, I'd bet the guys in purple and gold fared just fine in this game. See. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Brought to you by Optimize, GeneratorPeople.com, GeneratorPeople.com. Optimize, Louisiana's #1 Generac dealer. Look, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. You live in Louisiana, the power is going to go out. So when the power goes out, do you want to be inconvenienced? Or when the power goes out, do you want to be in the situation that I'm in with my family? Boom. The Generac powers on and powers your entire house. It's possible, and Optimize is the best. There's a reason they're the #1 Generac dealer in the state. Nobody sells more Generacs than Optimize. They're the generator people. All they do is sell, service, install Generac automatic home standby generators. Again, they've got locations all across South Louisiana, so they service all of the 10-12 corridor from Lake Charles to Slidell, everywhere in between. Their newest physical location is in Kenner, like right off, you exit I-10 right off of Loyola, like you're going to the airport. It's right there off the interstate. So it doesn't matter where you are on the 10-12 corridor, they'll get to you quickly. They offer a price quote guarantee. The price they quote you is it, no fees after that. That is the number you will pay. And they have financing for any budget. $600 down payment and financing for any budget, so you're in control of what you want to spend and how. It's Optimized. GeneratorPeople.com, GeneratorPeople.com. Okay, y'all, it's after further review. We will get Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro in 15 minutes. So get your booze questions in. Email us, tweet us, or text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. You can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat as well on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. If you're there, please smash the like button. We appreciate you. Scott Kushner, we'll talk some Pels in 30 minutes. Russ Mitchell is here in hour 3. Glad you are as well. It's AFR.
AFR.
Still got time, y'all, to reach out to our friends over at Action Industries. They got those 2 turnarounds coming, 4 to 5 week turnarounds, working 7/12s. They're looking for welders and pipe fitters, crane operators, boiler makers. 2 ways you can apply, online or in person. Online is at the website actionindinc.com, as in Action Industries Incorporated, actionindinc.com, or just go see them at their Geismar office on Highway 30 in Geismar. Walk into the office during business hours, ask for Zach. You can apply there in person. The great news as well, while they got these turnarounds coming, they also have about a year-long project coming up as well in 2025 that they've been awarded. So you'll have even more work coming for Action Industries. It's a great time to get to know my friends at Action Industries. Been in business since 1982. 42 going on 43 years. All the work local to Greater Baton Rouge. It's Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram can get you in a new 2024 Ram 1500 truck for only $32,898. $32,898 for a new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Wouldn't want to be anywhere else. These fans, this organization, just my career here, I think it's the icing on the cake to be able to say that, I won't really have to go anywhere, else to play football, just leave it all here. So thankful for the organization to be able to get this done.
Alvin Kamara met with reporters on Wednesday after Tuesday night signing his contract extension with the New Orleans Saints. Be interesting to see if that is it for Alvin. 2 more years after this one. The contract brings him through 2026. Does he play beyond that? Are there opportunities? Don't know. It's not a guarantee that he finishes his career in New Orleans, but it certainly guarantees he will be in New Orleans at least for next year and possibly 2 more years, depending if look, it's $22 million of the 24 is guaranteed, so there's no reason to believe he wouldn't be here. But next year for certain, when he had nothing guaranteed on his contract beyond this year. Now that gives him guarantees for 2 seasons. Dennis Allen also met with reporters after practice on Wednesday and talked about Kamara's extension.
I think he handled it the right way. I don't think there was ever a question of whether we wanted Alvin to be here or not. I don't think there was ever a question whether Alvin wanted to be here or not. There's a business side of it and a business aspect to it, and so I think he handled it the right way. He came in, did his job, did the things he was supposed to do. And finally, the business side made sense on both sides, and we were able to get something done.
For what it's worth, Kamara also elaborated a bit more about why he wanted to stay in New Orleans, not only in the city, but with the team.
Again, I've been here my whole career. I don't feel like there's another place like New Orleans, quite honestly. I think me leaving here and trying to go and find somewhere else, because there's a reality of it. I could have waited to the end of the season and then just said, all right, I'm going to, visit here, find where I'm going, but I don't think it does me any justice. It doesn't serve me any. I don't think to go somewhere and chase. I mean, you could say you're chasing Super Bowls, you're chasing a better organization, better coaches. Like it doesn't. I don't think that's the answer. I mean, this city's been loyal to me. This organization's been loyal to me. I don't feel like I would get this same feeling that I get putting on the fleur-de-lis anywhere else.
I mean, one of the things we always say about not only New Orleans, but Louisiana, the state, is culturally this place is so different. And with some people, it clicks. And if you wrap your arms around us in this state and this culture, man, we'll give you a giant bear hug back and never let go and love you forever. It's just true, and you see it all the time. We talked about it with Drew Brees. It was true with Joe Burrow as well, with the EAUX jersey on senior night. I mean, those types of things happen. And Alvin's a guy that his entire career has endeared himself to this fan base and the city and everything, and he's obviously continuing to do that as well. It's why I was so split, man. It's from a personal standpoint, I'm ecstatic that Alvin Kamara is going to stay in New Orleans. One of my favorite, if not my favorite, Saints player of all time. It's just you're committing to being older and expensive, which isn't the best thing for this franchise, in my opinion. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad you're with us. Brought to you by Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. Windows, door siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, Hardy Plank vinyl siding. They do it all. Oh, yeah, they do shutters as well. So if you want those beautiful shutters that'll make your home more energy efficient, beautify your home increase your home's resale value, you want Relief Windows. They're just the best. And remember, you'll always get an exceptional customer service experience at Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Oh, yeah, they do shutters as well. Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Okay, let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Missouri Tigers.
Eli Drinkwitz updated the health status of two of his prominent offensive players. Brady Cook didn't give an update there. Uncertain if he'll play Saturday against Alabama. Eli Drinkwitz also kicked the media out of practice this week so they wouldn't see what Cook was doing, if anything. We do know, though, Nate Noel, their leading rusher, will miss the game Saturday against Alabama with a foot injury he suffered against Auburn this past week. That means he'll be replaced by Marcus Carroll, the Georgia State transfer, who's the second leading rusher, who for himself has 321 yards and 6 touchdowns on the season.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Speaking of running backs, Jaquindon Jackson from Arkansas, we know, was injured this weekend against LSU. Sam Pittman gave updated status not only in Jackson, but also Rodney Hill. First injury report said to be released Wednesday evening. Pittman updated their statuses. Jackson doubtful on the injury report. Re-aggravated an ankle injury in the loss to LSU. Hill probable for the game this weekend against Mississippi State.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Speaking of those Mississippi State Bulldogs, Mario Craver, the standout freshman wide receiver, will be out for Saturday's game against Arkansas, so each team will be down a pretty significant offensive player. Craver left the Texas A&M game with a lower body injury. Had a season-high 5 catches against A&M when he was injured. He's got 16 catches for 355 and 3 touchdowns on the season.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
And Kirby Smart updated the injury status of offensive lineman Tate Ratledge. Went down with an ankle injury. Had tightrope surgery. Remember, we first learned about that back when Tua had it before the LSU game back in 2019. Something that Bulldogs have gone through before. Brock Bowers had the same procedure done a season ago. Ratledge, his situation, Kirby Smart said, was a little more severe. Kind of put the whole thing into situation. He was a game-time decision leading into the Texas game. But apparently they said he could have played if they needed him. Ultimately, they didn't. Ratledge can try to get back for the Florida game a week from Saturday. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. Every Wednesday is trivia at both Pluckers locations. 7:30 Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. Y'all get on by, eat wings, drink beer, watch sports on TV, play trivia tonight and every Wednesday at Pluckers. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. All right, time for a little Bourbon Dictionary. We'll grab a break, come back. Taylor Calandro will be here. Get your booze questions in. Email us, tweet us, text us. 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Bourbon Dictionary next on AFR.
AFR.
Man, the real estate market is churning. Saw interest rates drop again a few weeks ago. As a result, we are seeing more and more homes come onto the market because buyers have more buying power now that interest rates have come down. So people are looking for inventory, and there's still a lack of it. Tell you all the time, November, the #1 home selling month in our market every single year because people want to get into their new home for the new year, new home for the holidays. Well, you move now. You start that process now as we move toward November. So beat the rush. Maximize your return and call Darren James. 335-7666, 335-7666. Or agent225.com, agent225.com. I say it every day. Wall Street Journal Real Trends listed the top 1% of realtors in America. No one in Louisiana sold more homes last year than Darren James. So why would you call anyone else? Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. They're the gang with the slang.
Keep it 100. I don't know what you're talking about.
This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
I don't understand.
Wrapping up hour number 1. Get your booze questions in. Email us, tweet us, text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Taylor, how are you, dude?
I'm good, Matt. How are you?
Doing awesome, man. Beautiful weather outside. Actually, just a couple of nights ago, I lit a cigar here in studio celebrating Bama burning, and went home, finished that cigar with a nice chill in the air in the outdoor kitchen, and had a
You smoked a cigar in the studio?
Thanks for watching the show, Taylor. Really appreciate it, man. Fantastic. Great. Awesome.
I have a 3-year-old and 2-year-old, man.
Yeah, I got it. You also have a phone in your hand where clips of that have gone viral everywhere. Yes, I did. Yeah,
I see your clips all the time. I have not seen that clip.
So we did Bama is burning, and with Bama losing to Tennessee, naturally that being the rivalry where the winner smokes a cigar. Yes, I had a smoking jacket on and I lit a cigar in studio.
All right.
So yeah, go check it out, please. By the way, if anybody missed that, AFR On Demand presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org. Just search After Further Review on podcast or on YouTube. Probably YouTube in this instance because you'd want to see, you'd want to see the theatrics actually. But anyway,
Absolutely.
Not to detract. What I was saying was I went home, I finished that cigar and had a nice pour of Yippee-Ki-Yay. I was able to commandeer a few bottles before it went bye-bye, so I'm rationing my stash because it's gone forever. What's new?
We are getting either, I think tomorrow, if not tomorrow, Friday, but I think tomorrow, just look at social media, West Coast Ghost from Parrish.
Oh.
This is the first time they've done this beer. And if you're not familiar with Parrish, well, most of their IPAs are thick and creamy and appear very viscous in the glass. This one apparently is going to be a little more crisp and clear, like a normal West Coast IPA.
Can you explain what a West Coast IPA is?
So back before, not to give a history lesson, but like back before IPAs were like orange juice, like they currently are, and with the major
What a
huge.
What a beer snob you are.
I'm
not mad at you at all. Not mad at you at all.
It's one of my favorite styles of beer, but they have turned into like it's drinking orange juice. Some of them, and that, I mean, so that style, this really juicy, fruity style of IPA is considered East Coast IPA. And the West Coast is more of a crisp, lighter, not super creamy, piney, instead of those fresh fruit flavors that you get, more of a piney, marijuana-y type
Muse
hoppiness.
There you go.
Bitter.
Muse. Yeah, it's a marijuana-y, is what he just said, type of beer. There you go.
Terpene-y.
Muse just waved me off. Anything new as far as the brown liquor goes?
Brown liquor, we got some more Elijah Craig toasted rye in this past week. That's kind of been hard to come by. And we are going to get some more Crown Blackberry at the beginning of next week, I believe, for all the whiskey aficionados out there.
Start lining up now. All right, we'll get to your questions. So get them in, email us, tweet us, or text us in the 225-396-4400. Mike says, hey, ask Taylor if he's ever tried Jefferson's bourbon and if he likes it.
I mean, Jefferson's makes a lot of different bourbon. We actually talked about Jefferson's last week, the Pritchard Hill cask finish.
Yep.
I like Jefferson's bourbon straight, and Jefferson's Reserve's really good. There's some marks that I don't care for, but for the most part, Jefferson's makes a good product. It can be pricey though.
Joshua says, go-to malt 40-ounce beer. Oh, your go-to malt 40-ounce beer hanging out in the cow pasture on a Friday night after a high school football game. Old English versus Colt 45, maybe Hurricane High Gravity?
I'll go with Old English.
I'll tell you this. Back in my immediate post-college days, I had two roommates. We had a house over in Capitol Heights. And when the last one of us would get home from work on a Friday, we'd drink a 40, watch a movie before we'd go out. And so we had a rotation of 40s. And there was a store, I think it was the beverage store on Florida Boulevard that sold 40-ounce Budweisers. Yeah. So that was actually a very welcome surprise when we could find the 40-ounce Budweiser, so as not to have to drink 40 ounces of atrocious malt liquor.
Those 40-ounce Budweisers are hilarious-looking bottles. I mean, they look like the 40-ounce Old English, but you're just not used to seeing a Budweiser in a gigantic format like that.
Brandon asked Taylor, which Old Elk should I go with next, 8-year wheated or wheat and rye?
I like both of those. I would probably say that 8-year wheated. I love their wheated stuff, and I know the other one's wheated and rye, but I prefer that 8-year wheated is fantastic.
Jeff Babin says, ask Taylor, what's a good vanilla whiskey?
Vanilla whiskey, I don't care for any of them. I mean, Vanilla Crown, maybe. I can't think of any other vanillas.
Oh, sorry, I thought you cut off. Ray asked Taylor if he said if he's heard of this, and then didn't post the picture of what he thought we might have heard of at that point. Oh, real quick before I forget, we got 90 seconds left. Raffle, I know we got the date. Give us the deets.
Yes, we do, and I meant to say that at the beginning of the segment. So me and Gordy talked last week, and December 12th is going to be the date, and that is 2 Thursdays before Christmas. So they're like generally, and I think y'all moved y'all's company Christmas party just for that too.
Well, if I remember correctly, last year the company Christmas party was on the same day as the raffle, and I went to the raffle and then left the raffle and went to the Christmas party for a smidge. But yes, I don't know. I don't actually get to oftentimes partake in a lot of the fun stuff. But that's
I'm sorry. So December 12th, and there's going to be a few details that are different this year, but just stay tuned for info. We won't have any information until a couple weeks out, but yeah.
All right, last one. Greg Lehman asked Taylor, any trends you've noticed with the start of fall?
Any trends? I've noticed a lot more whiskey buying, which is a welcome sight because there hasn't been that lately. So I've noticed brown liquor start rolling a lot. And, cigar sales have really gone up, too, in the past few weeks.
Okay, there's one more. This is the guy sent me the link. It's ask Taylor if he's heard of this. Belgrove Distillery, Holy Bleep, Smoke and Barrel Rye Whiskey.
No, never heard of it. Smoking bleep.
Well, it's SHI. I can't say it. Smoking.
Gotcha.
Holy WHOLLY SHI.
Yeah, it sounds like it as well.
Okay.
All righty.
He's Taylor Calandro. Thanks, dude. We'll do it next week.
All right, man. See you.
We'll see you. Hey, if you do have some whiskey and you need to rehydrate, make sure you grab Evermore, a better form of hydration. It's a rare alkaline source. It's natural artesian water. I'm telling you, here's what I would recommend you do. Try this. Go to a store or go to evermore.com, order some Evermore, and then buy whatever bottle of water you usually buy, that crinkly little plastic bottle from Texas, whatever. Drink them side by side and tell me if you don't notice a difference. I'm telling you, it'll change your habit for what water you buy forever. It's Evermore. Drink Evermore. Great Louisiana product as well. Evermore.com. EVAMOR. Evermore.com.
AFR.
Okay, y'all. Hour 2 is coming straight ahead. Scott Kushner will be here right after Sports Center as the Pels tip off their season tonight. I do want to remind you about Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Last night, the Celtics got their rings. Gents, if this Christmas you're going to put a ring on it, if you like it, you should put a ring on it. You could put a ring on it. That was terrible. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. Anyway, yeah. I thought you were going for the rim shot. You can do it. Yeah, you can hit it. Yeah, it's really, really bad. It's a bad effort, just bad execution and all of it. You know it's never bad? Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Thrill her with a gift in the red box. Remember, Scott goes overseas multiple times a year over to India on buying trips where he buys diamonds from the finest mines in the world to bring that selection back here. And because he's buying for 9 stores, he gets great deals, which he can pass along to the consumer. So you get a great selection and a great price, and always the Lee Michaels experience. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, 9 locations and online at lmfj.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram can get you in a new 2024 Ram 1500 truck for only $32,898. $32,898 for a new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The NBA is likely to begin an investigation into the 76ers surrounding center Joel Embiid's absence and whether there's a violation of the player participation policy, reports ESPN's Shams Charania. Embiid missed the preseason with left knee injury management, is out at least the first 3 regular season games. The Sixers have said already that their plan is to keep Embiid out of back-to-backs this season. ESPN NBA analyst Chiney Ogwumike.
I think the biggest issue is this concept of prioritization of the playoffs, because that's sort of antithetical to the mission of the NBA or anybody that's a professional. You're trying to show up for each game through 82 games for the fans and then also have that standard.
NFL, DeAndre Hopkins on the move. The Chiefs finalizing a deal to acquire the 5-time Pro Bowl receiver from the Titans for a conditional 2025 fifth-round pick. The Browns will start quarterback Jameis Winston this week. Offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey takes over play-calling duties. Panthers start QB Bryce Young Sunday in place of the injured Andy Dalton. Commanders QB Jaden Daniels' rib injury didn't practice today. Uncertain Sunday against the Bears.
Why pay more for a great shave? Choose Barbasol, America's #1 brand of shaving cream. Barbasol's thick and rich lather gives you a close, comfortable shave for just half the price of gels. Barbasol.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Woo!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yusu. And Mr. Toby Tomplin. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Russ Mitchell next hour. Talk some Chargers in about 15 minutes. Saints are back at it, heading out to L.A. this weekend. So we'll get a thumbnail preview of the Saints opponent. How about this? NBA season tipped off last night. Pelicans tip off tonight in Chicago against the Bulls. Good chance to catch up with our buddy Scott Kushner, Polk and Kush podcast. Oh, Scotty's going to be contributing with us over at LouisianaSports.net this NBA season as well. Looking forward to reading his stuff. Hey, man, thanks for the time. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
I bet
Matt,
you
how
are.
are you today?
I bet you are doing fantastic. You still smell like smoke?
It's my whole house is just still on fire. That's it, you know?
Scott is a...
I lit a cigar in my house. My wife was very impressed.
Wait, did you really light a cigar in your house?
I tried. It was immediately slapped out of my hand.
Well, you also... You're a father of small children. Like,
yes.
You need not be smoking. Scott is a Tennessee alum and a proud Vol, so a big week for him after, a decade or so of losing every year to Nick Saban, now 2 out of 3. If there's anybody in the state happier about that Tennessee win than me, it's you. So congratulations on that.
Although we did it together, man.
We did. But I actually did smoke the cigar indoors. That's the thing I did in this studio on Monday, which was fantastic. I don't know that we're going to have much of an opportunity to smoke celebratory cigars for these Pelicans, but who knows? Let's get wild. Maybe they surprise us. And the great thing, Scott, is the season tips off tonight, and so we don't have to worry about injuries, right? They're super healthy.
Yeah, no, that's how it goes, right? Every other sport, that's just, opening night, everybody's good to go. No, the Pelicans, of course, are missing 3 of their top 7, I'd say. I don't think they've been confirmed out yet, but it would be pretty surprising if they chance anything. Trey Murphy will definitely be out, but then Jose Alvarado has a lingering, I think it's a leg thing. I honestly can't even remember at this point. And then Zion Williamson is a non-COVID illness.
You don't say.
He just kind of hasn't been around the last couple days. So I don't know what's going on over there. But they
cool.
If you can be snake bit, Pelicans usually find a way.
DeJounte Murray is on the injury report as well. Said he's a game-time decision. Let's talk a little bit about DeJounte Murray. It's a big get for New Orleans. What does he add?
He's a point guard, man, and that's, I think, what we've talked about for at least 2 years is the concept of having a guy who what he wants to do more than anything is distribute. And, I think there's always a little bit of a hearkening back to Chris Paul around here when you think of NBA basketball and how good he was at kicking it around and getting the team involved and all that. And they really just haven't had a main distributor. The best they've been offensively is when Zion has been running the point, which is very successful because he draws so much attention. But it's not as if he's a world-class passer. It's not as if he's really a natural point guard. I think it's more that he evolved into the role, and he's so good with the ball in his hands, generally at scoring, that it does help to have him with the ball. But Murray is way more of a guy who wants to be a point guard and wants to be the distributor and wants to be all of those things and can set up teammates. And I think he says he was not in like a natural position in Atlanta the last few years playing next to Trae Young, who obviously has the ball in his hands constantly. And he was more pushed aside and kind of turned into a shooter and a secondary player. He's going to be more of a focal point this year. But, there's one basketball, and that becomes problematic and very confusing as to how we think that this whole thing is going to unfold over 82 games.
The other interesting part about the way the roster is constructed right now is, look, Jonas is no longer here. And, Scott, they really don't have a true big. Media day, David Griffin talked about them playing kind of without a center, like they was going to sort of figure it out. I mean, how does this work? I mean, it feels
it's crazy.
Doesn't this feel like didn't Houston try to do this like with the small lineup and they got eviscerated in a Western Conference loaded with dominant bigs?
Teams have done it, and they've mostly done it in stretches, right? As compared to where you don't have the option. Those teams, even the Golden State teams, which we always think is small ball, to its core. That is the most distilled, perfect version of small ball was that Warriors death lineup with Draymond at the 5. But they didn't play Draymond at the 5 the whole game. They had Kevon Looney, they've had Andrew Bogut. Like, as they went through, and, JaVale McGee, they had different guys who were natural centers who could play 10 to 12 minutes a night and do things when you needed to match up against the right team. Because against the wrong matchup now, they have no answer for how to get a rebound. And I think it's more so the rebounding than it is anything else. Because I do think scoring-wise, it's not going to affect them at all to be this small. They've got so many scorers on the floor, and they're going to be really hard to match up with. But just the fact that you don't have the versatility that if a team comes in and wants to play big, that you're going to have a really hard time defending it.
I'm sure it's going to go great against Denver.
Yeah, well, that was going badly anyway. It's not as if putting Valanciunas on him was particularly helping that cause.
Fair.
But just generally, there are teams out there who will just try to load up, play big, and grab, 30 offensive rebounds a night. And that's going to be really hard for them to mix and match, which is really what you want in an NBA roster more than anything, is the ability to match up when it's necessary. And they kind of just don't have that right now. And instead they have a whole bunch of guys who can score with the ball in their hand, and then they have nobody who can really kind of stand up there and grab a rebound when you desperately need one at the end of a possession.
He's Scott Kushner, Pelicans columnist, host of the Polk and Kush podcast. Make sure you subscribe, favorite podcast app. Get it. You guys coming to YouTube this season as well?
We're going to try. We got to,
no try,
that involve
only do.
Thinking about things. Yeah.
Miyagi, no try, only do.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. 2 more things here. Give me a thought on tonight. What are you interested in watching as the Pels take on the Bulls? Scott, they're 5.5 point favorite on the road here on opening night.
Well, they're home.
My bad. They're at home. My bad.
Yeah. So then they go on the road for like 4 straight games. So it's really, without Zion playing, which I don't expect him to play, I don't know what they're going to look like. I mean, Brandon Ingram and Murray, they basically did not use the preseason in any way of previewing what the season's going to be like. So everything they do, almost every possession, is going to be kind of an illuminating thing to watch. The Bulls are not a particularly good team. They're also a little bit of a mess. And the Pelicans should be able to outscore them at home, I would think. And I think it should be entertaining to watch on at least, the level of curiosity. But yeah, I mean, who knows what to make of it. The preseason was such a strange thing. Ingram sat most of it. Then they brought him back, but Zion was out. So it's been a whole, it's very opaque.
You like the new TV deal with Gray?
I do, as a rabbit ears person. I've been a rabbit ears person, but I told my dad, for example, I was like, to get the Pelicans games, you're going to need an antenna. And he was like, oh, what? I was like, yeah, I'll put it in your house. He's like, nah, don't worry about it. I was like, well, you go to like 40 Pelicans games a year. He's like, nah, don't worry about it. I was like, no, like you should. So it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. I do like the idea that the games are free as compared to Valley, and I think it does make more sense. But it's going to be, you got to kind of explain to people how to do it. And hopefully the people across the state can figure it out, because I know it's on a lot of small channels. So it's a weird deal.
Last thing before you go, set your mark. What's a season-long expectation for this team? Do you have a win total projection or a playoff projection?
I saw the over-under was 45 the last I looked. That's probably about right. I actually think they're going to be a really good regular season team who's going to have trouble matching up in the postseason. But I think they're going to be able – they have so many guys that you can withstand injuries. So I think they're going to probably win about what they won last year, which was 49. So I think they could be a 48, 49-win team, and maybe that's good enough to be the 6. And I think that's probably the goal, is to be somewhere between the 5 and the 6. And that would be, I think, a really successful season, but also a season where you're sort of in the wilderness at the end of it, which is where you ended up last year with 49 wins, but everyone's kind of looking around entering the season going like, did we accomplish anything? What's going on here? It just feels a little directionless.
Well, it all starts tonight, right amid football season, because that makes so much sense to start the NBA.
Right before the World Series. That's when we want to start the NBA. Right. The middle of football and right before the World Series. Let's be as irrelevant as possible. That's perfect for the NBA.
Meanwhile, we'll all still sit around looking at each other in July going, man, I wish the NBA Finals was happening right now.
It's unbelievable, man.
Somehow they've managed to make it work, though, in a really successful league that keeps getting younger and more profitable. But here's hoping for the Pels. All right, Scott, we appreciate it, man. Thanks for the time.
Thanks, Matt. Talk to you soon.
All right, man. That is Scott Kushner, Polk and Kush podcast. And he'll be contributing with us over at LouisianaSports.net. It's where you'll find some of Scott's columns and some of his written work. So hopefully you'll check out our stuff over at LouisianaSports.net. We appreciate Scott. He's on Twitter, X at Scott D. Kushner. Here brought to you by Parish Restoration, parishbuilt.com. Parishbuilt.com, one website. You get all the Parish companies and all the services right there. Go to parishbuilt.com, hit the restoration tab. That's where you can learn more about the patented non-toxic dry fog treatment we tell you about. Kill mold, remove odor, parishbuilt.com. It's great for sanitization. If you have a medical facility, an office building, a church, school, a lot of schools have parish restoration on retainer, where every year before the school year they'll fog the whole campus, sanitize the whole place, and then boom, next year, same thing. So check it out. If you got mold in your house or office building, think you might, Parish Restoration. Odor from sweat, pets, smoke, whatever it may be, Parish Restoration. Go to parishbuilt.com, hit the restoration tab, parishbuilt.com. All right, it's after further review. Russ Mitchell, 1 hour from right now. We'll talk about the weekend that was in the SEC, preview the big games coming up, including LSU, Texas A&M. When we come back, we'll head out to L.A. We'll talk to David Droegemeier, who hosts Locked on Chargers. Get a little thumbnail preview of the Saints' opponent as the Saints try to end this 5-game skid. We'll see if they can do it against Jim Harbaugh's crew out there in L.A. That's next. It's AFR.
After further review.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. You know what to do. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. You can always go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com, or you can call Gordon, any of the Gordon offices all over the state, 888-8888, 888-8888, or go to getgordon.com. You know, one of the things we always talk about is Gordon's willingness to give back to our communities. And every single October, they always are very active around Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Gordon at all of their offices of Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys this week. They had their Breast Cancer Awareness Wear Pink Day. So Gordon donated $10 for each person wearing pink to the Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center and the Miles Perret Cancer Services. That's in all of the Get Gordon offices all over the state of Louisiana. Just continues to give back. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. Who dat say they're gonna beat them Saints? Let's head behind enemy lines to preview this week's matchup.
I think it's valuable for a lot of guys. A, we're gonna get some guys back, and B, you get a chance to kind of sit back and reevaluate, those last couple of games and what you did well, what you need to improve on, and that's everybody, coaches, players, everybody, and get ready for the next one.
Dennis Allen talking about the value of sort of the mini bye, playing on Thursday Night Football, so you get 10 days before your next game. And for this one, the Saints have to travel out west to take on the Chargers in L.A. Chargers, meanwhile, on a short week after losing on Monday Night Football to Arizona in Arizona. David Droegemeier, host of the Locked On Chargers podcast, good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. David, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, our pleasure. You make anything of that, just the spot, the Chargers being on a short week, Saints being on a long week?
Yeah, I mean, it's never ideal, and I think if you look at it, the Chargers actually have to travel the most out of any team, and they don't play on Thursday night, so they don't get like that extra bye week, little mini bye week after a short week. So they just have to suck it up. The whole kind of identity of this team is supposed to be about toughness and physicality, and so you have to have that mentally when you're on a short week.
Yeah, give me the flyover here through 6 games, 3-3. It looks kind of, David, like Chargers beat the bad teams and lost to the good teams. Maybe the Cardinals notwithstanding, we'll see. But what's the vibe check there in L.A.?
I think a little bit of unease. I think the Chargers are definitely figure out who they are and still trying to establish their identity, which is, still very new. Jim Harbaugh come in and has really tried to change this team, this organization from a finesse kind of built from the outside to a built from the inside tough physical team, and they're still in the process of doing that. And I think that's what it shows when you see a 3-3 record.
The one thing that absolutely stands out is there's no defense in the NFL that allows fewer points at this point of the season than the Chargers. They're first in scoring defense. What do they do so well defensively?
Yeah, I think it's Jesse Minter coming in and also bringing pretty much his entire defensive staff from Michigan, which I think has helped really translate this defense to the players. And this defense notoriously is easy for the players to execute, but difficult for their opponents to understand what they're trying to do to them. And I think that disguise and those simulated pressures have really allowed them to have a lot of success. And also, they're limiting explosive plays, and they're also playing very physical against the run, which going into the season, one of the biggest question marks for me was the defensive line. And guys like Puna Ford and Ochito Ogbonnia on that defensive line have played way better than anybody ever expected, and has really kind of changed the way people look at that line. But yeah, this defense has been a swarming defense. They normally have tackled pretty well. I think last game on Monday night was an outlier there, but it's just been, very good communication and then being able to limit those explosive plays, and it's really worked out for them.
I mean, even the game against the Chiefs, the Chiefs have struggled at times offensively this year, but that was a nip and tuck ball game where the Chiefs eked it out 17-10. Has any offense really got going against this Chargers defense?
No, they have not. I think the only one that you could probably see is that Pittsburgh Steelers one, and it was really just because the Chargers were dealing with so many injuries. It was Justin Herbert, it was Rashawn Slater. Joe Alt goes out later in the game. That was a knockdown, drag-out fight. That one really took its toll on the Chargers. They also lost Joey Bosa early in that game. But towards the end, after getting battered and having to be on the field all day, the defense broke a little bit. But that was the first time all year where they gave up 20 points in any contest. So this defense, after that, has not skipped a beat and has dealt with several injuries and has been able to cover up. We've had some rookies that have really played a lot better than expected, and that's helped this defense kind of keep it rolling.
Well, the task on Sunday is probably going to be the easiest of the year. The Saints have been battered. They're going to play rookie quarterback, and it's probably not going to go great for New Orleans offensively. So the Saints defense is going to have to play a lot better to try to limit the Chargers offense, which at times has struggled this year. The Chargers are 26th in the NFL in scoring. What has been the bugaboo offensively for LA?
When this team can't run the ball, they are losing the game. You look at the 3 games that they've lost this year, they have ran for less than 75 rushing yards. This team is really strongly predicated on running the ball and staying ahead of the sticks and not having Justin Herbert do everything. Now, the last 2 games, they've opened up the passing game a little bit more, and Justin Herbert has had his best 2 games of the season from a passing perspective, but both of those were losses. It's 1-1, sorry, not both losses, but it's been an uneven offensive performance. They just can't score. They haven't scored a touchdown in the last 15 drives. They've been horrendous in the red zone. They're not getting to the red zone. They only go 2.2 times per game, which is 31st in the league. And when they do get there, they don't score touchdowns. They're only 5 of 13, which is 30th in red zone scoring percentage. They're just awful when they get there. So this team has to score touchdowns to win football games. And right now, there's not a lot of confidence that they are going to be able to do it.
How much is it on Justin Herbert?
I don't think very much. I think Justin Herbert's doing everything he possibly can. I think you look at the list of weapons, and when you look at the stat line on Monday night and the leading receiver is blocking tight end Will Dissly, then you know that Justin Herbert is absolutely maximizing everything that he has at his disposal. I think Greg Roman definitely deserves quite a bit of blame, the offensive coordinator. He's supposed to be a run game savant. He authors top 10 rushing attacks everywhere he goes, and we just haven't seen that up to this point. It's been too much boom or bust, not enough consistency, and the play calling in the red zone has been subpar. It just hasn't got the job done. So I think there's plenty of blame to share, but I think Justin Herbert's played exceptionally well given the circumstances.
David Droegemeier is with us, Locked On Chargers. What about Jim Harbaugh? What's the feeling there? Early, small sample, but with what he's been able to do in this relatively small sample.
Yeah, I think Jim Harbaugh brings a lot of cachet with him because of his track record of success. And this is a guy that's won at every single level. When it goes down to, San Diego, to Stanford, to the 49ers, Michigan, everywhere he's been, he's turned bad teams into good teams, and he's done it fairly quickly. So I think he definitely has a rope and a leash. I think 3-3 is not exactly where Charger fans were expecting, but also they understand that this team is still trying to shift the identity, and you can't rebuild this team exactly in Jim Harbaugh's image the way he wants it to be in one off season. It's just not possible. So this is a work in progress. They're still trying to figure it out. They're still trying to get the right personnel and the right players on the field to be able to execute it the way Jim Harbaugh wants. But this guy has that winning track record that has bought him a lot of, people's ability to kind of wait and let him build it out and then see, because, he has gotten the results in the past.
Give me a key for Sunday. If the Chargers pull it out there in LA, what will show up on the box score?
The Chargers will be able to run the ball and really kind of dominate the time of possession and score in the red zone. It's absolutely imperative. They haven't had any kind of semblance of offensive rhythm, and that's especially noticed when you can't score in the red zone. So they have to run the ball, and they have to be able to stay ahead of the sticks, and they got to score in the red zone. For me, that's the most important key for the Chargers on Sunday.
Well, going against one of the worst run defenses in the NFL might help. Enter the New Orleans Saints. He is David Droegemeier, Locked On Chargers. We appreciate a couple of minutes, man. Thanks so much.
Thank you guys so much. Have a good one.
Yep, it's our pleasure. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com, williamsoneye.com. Man, if you want to see 2020 without contacts or glasses, you want to ditch the contacts and glasses forever, the Williamson Eye Center can do for you what they did for me. Call 924-2020, 924-2020, or go to williamsoneye.com. Just go for that consultation with Dr. Blake Williamson. It's just the starting point. It's a free consultation. It's information gathering, and it's something I cannot recommend highly enough. Just go for that consultation. Go for that consultation and see if you're a candidate for LASIK. See if you're a candidate for PRK. See if you're a candidate for the custom lens replacement or EVO ICL. Learn about refractive procedure and what might be the best option for you. It's the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com. Yeah, I don't think that you're going to be super encouraged, when you hear that conversation and he says, the key to the game is the Chargers running the ball. When they run the ball effectively, they win games. Well, the Saints are the third worst rushing defense in the NFL. Only Carolina and Indianapolis are worse. The Saints are allowing 146 yards per game. You don't mean to tell me. In the last two games, they've allowed their opponents to go over 200 rush yards. So if Jim Harbaugh wants to play a physical style, line up and run it, well, Saints have been really susceptible to that. I don't know, man. You get Pete Werner back this week. Get Colin Saunders back this week. Maybe this is the week where the Saints rise up, show a little pride with some extra rest, go out there and actually look like a defense that's capable of getting off the field and complementing their offense. But I'm going to have to see it to believe it at this point. It just certainly has been a pretty wretched 5-week stretch. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Hump Day shows are brought to you by Pluckers. We do it every single Hump Day, of course, because every Wednesday over at Pluckers is trivia night. 7:30 Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. Get on by, eat wings, drink beer, watch sports on TV, test your sports knowledge. By the way, if you want to bet on it, Otter Locks are already posted over at LouisianaSports.net. Jimmy will be with us in about an hour and 15 minutes. But if you want to go, find Otter Locks and get them right now at LouisianaSports.net on the homepage or under the sports betting page. Bookmark that so you visit it every single day over at LouisianaSports.net. All right, quick break. We'll come back. Little Pluckers trivia. Muse will have Tigers in the pros. We still got Russ Mitchell next hour. Ton to do. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
After Further Review.
Man, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? The summer just came and went, and you are envious of everyone you know that has a pool. And you've been thinking about building that own pool at your house, that outdoor kitchen. What are you waiting on? Call Duplessis Builders right now. You can go by and see them at their showroom. They're on Airline Highway in Gonzales. Actually, how convenient is this? So they're right next to the new Rouse's. It's the corner of Airline and Duplessis Lane. Duplessis Builders. Sometimes things in life, synergies just happen to work out. It's serendipitous. But one thing that's undeniable, when you hire Duplessis to build your pool, your outdoor kitchen, you're going to be thrilled with the aesthetics and with the craftsmanship. The industry standard workmanship warranty is 1 year. At Duplessis, it's a 10-year workmanship warranty. You'll understand why when you give them a shout. DuplessisBuilders.net.
The only thing scary about the deals at Bayou Ford is if you miss out on them, like $15,000 off F-150. Bayou Ford has $15,000 off Ford F-150. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, glad you're rolling along with us here. 4:34 Central Time. Maybe we should have rethought the Pluckers trivia segment, Muse, here at the bottom of hour 2. Just in proximity to 420, maybe this is part of the reason you've had so much trouble with this segment.
That has absolutely nothing to do with it.
Well, that's true, because at 5:30 you were bad at it too.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with it at all. I'm not great at trivia. It doesn't fit my personality. I like trivia a lot, but I need time to think about things. So like the immediacy of it doesn't bode well for me.
I mean, you either know the answer to something or you don't.
That's not true.
That is true.
That's not.
This isn't long division. It's not like you need 10 minutes to work out a long division problem.
Brother, don't get me started on long division.
But the point is, you either know the answer to something or you don't.
Sometimes you have to think and use deductive reasoning to figure out the answer in trivia. That's very factual.
Muse, when you go play trivia at a place, you still, you got to round, you just answer the question.
Yeah, but you can come back. If you don't know the answer immediately, you can have one person on your team think about it while someone else answers the next one and come back to it.
There's actually the problem. You need people on your team that know answers. Because you're just...
No, sometimes I might be like, wait, I know this. Let me think about it. Go to the next one. And then, I got it. Here you go. And we get it right. That's how that can work.
Maybe...
No, that's how that works.
You're just very narrow in your scope and understanding of things.
No, I wouldn't say that.
No.
He just knows through the trash. Certainly there are certain topics, sure, but
anime.
Yeah, cool. You talk about know the answer or don't. That was just luck. I didn't know any of those answers, but I got them right.
Paulie.
And that was multiple choice.
Paulie, if someone gets every answer correct in a certain category, could we use deductive reasoning to steal a phrase from our dear friend Muse over here? That individual would know a lot about that particular topic?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Let's see if Muse knows anything today. Hit it. Here we go.
It's time for Pluckers Trivia. How many will Musso get wrong today? Pluckers Trivia, every Wednesday night, 7:30 at Blue Bonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson.
Blue Bonnet. As she says, Blue Bonnet. Blue Bonnet.
Hey, what was that? Oh, not the Evermore. Come on now. There you go.
Because, when you're in a very expensive video studio, you should always have a closed container.
Mm.
Yeah.
Sure.
Talking to a lot of people that sit in this room and leave ring marks all over.
Oh.
Guy who's in here before me has his big Yeti cup with no lid on it every day.
Is that the cause of the ring mark, though?
That's the open container. The ring mark is
that'd be more like from condensation, correct?
Well, that's whenever they have the champagne shenanigans on Friday with Hester, T-Bob, and Rivers. There's always, I've told them, the janitors in this building don't come in here to clean the desks. Wipe up your mess. Your mama don't live here. Wipe up your mess. But then also they spill coffee too. The morning guys, it's the coffee, and then Hunt, his deal is he has the big Yeti cup with the open lid. And you just, hey man, spill something on this console, you buying it. You break it, you buy it. You're
always a good rule of thumb.
All right, Muse. Here we go.
Yay.
Right out the chute, we got a tennis question for you, Muse.
Oh, come on.
I'm sure this is going to go crazy.
Is our guy Stevie Levy just messing with me at this point?
He gets the questions from the Pluckers trivia people who have the trivia questions for all the Pluckers. Which Grand Slam tennis event occurs last each year?
Well, let's see. I think they just had. Are they done? Is it done? If it
use deductive reasoning, Muse. Take your time.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do, but I don't know their calendar.
Showing's at 6, Muse. We got an hour and 22 minutes. You're good.
All right, I'm going to go with the U.S. Open.
It is the U.S. Open. There it is.
There we go. It finishes in the summer then because they just had that.
Well, Wimbledon's like the 4th of July weekend. That's in the summer as well.
It's the one where they wear all white. They had that long marathon match there like 10 years ago.
Yeah. The big tall guy from Georgia.
Yeah.
John
Isner, right? There's John Isner.
Now hold the hell on. Hold the hell on right now. My guy just pulled John Isner.
You like that?
But sitting here trying to tell me he never even heard the name Pete Sampras.
Yep.
I mean, you must live and exist in a perpetual state of a dismembered mind. I don't understand how in the world you could possibly pull John Isner and tell me you've never heard the name Pete Sampras.
It was a pretty famous match there, Matt.
It
lasted
and
like
Pete
a day
Sampras
and a half.
is a pretty famous tennis player who, if you were watching any Wimbledon ever, you would have heard Pete Sampras' name because the guy won like 7 of them. On October 14th, 2023, Henry Selick stated he was inclined to do a film about how Jack Skellington became king of Halloween Town, which would be considered what type of film, since its story would precede that of the previous work.
Oh, that's a prequel.
It is a prequel.
That's Nightmare Before Christmas right there?
I have no idea.
I think.
No idea whatsoever.
I think so. Jack Skellington. What is it? Skellington?
The king of Halloween Town?
Think the Pelicans will wear the skeleton uniforms tonight?
Hope not.
Oh, they should. Those are awesome.
They're terrible.
They're so good.
I will say, though, there's a guy, shout out. He's got a hat company. I'll give him a shout out. It's called Hatfish.
Oh, yeah. You told me about this.
Did. Wore one of the hats on at Whiskey and Wine Saturday.
And Scone and Tea Thursday.
Well, the one I wore at Scone and Tea, that was game day for the Saints. So it was sort of a Saints themed. It was like the New Orleans skylines, had Houdat in it. Cool, very cool hat. He sent me, full disclosure, I didn't pay for him. He was like, hey, I'm just going to send you a bunch of hats. Great, thanks. And they're good. I like them a lot. One of them is like I said, like there's a Saints themed hat. Obviously, it's not officially licensed, but the other one that's like the basketball theme, the Pelicans theme one, it's got the skeleton colors, like that lime green and the purple in it.
Yeah.
The hat's pretty fire. I don't love the Skeletons uniforms. Don't love the Skeletons floor either. All right, Muse, we're going for a clean sweep here.
How about this?
Yeah. Tennis, prequels. This is your sweet spot. All right, which American new metal band? And you.
Yeah, no, I got you on that.
Got it? From Bakersfield, California, was advertised to be making an appearance at a local radio station's Halloween Haunt event in a season 3 episode of South Park.
Oh no, season 3. That's a while ago. That is not necessarily in my South Park wheelhouse.
Well,
new metal. Hold on.
Deductive reasoning.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna go with.
New metal, Bakersfield, California. Had to be around season 3 of South Park, which had been 1999.
In that range,
South Park started in 96, 97-ish.
Yeah.
Take all the time you need.
Yeah, well, hold on. Man, I don't think this is right, but my guess, and this is purely a guess, is Limp Bizkit.
Ooh, not a bad guess.
No.
Not a bad guess. A Korn is who we were looking for.
Yeah.
Man, Korn. Which is really interesting. The one of the guys from Korn went and became he got saved. Left the band, got saved. Was playing Christian metal, which is weird.
Yeah, for sure.
But right on. And then went back to Korn.
Okay.
Because I think it's way more profitable to be in Korn than it is to be the guy that used to be in Korn doing Christian metal.
For sure.
Yeah. I think being part of Korn is better.
So did he, apparently. Yeah.
Backwards K.
Backwards K. That's them.
Freak on a Leash. Cool video with the bullet.
Freak on a Leash.
Following the bullet all the way through everything. It was good, really good video. That at the time, the Freak on a Leash video was amazing. What would you call that? Cinematography? What would you call that? Visual effects?
Visual effects.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Coming Undone, another good one by them.
Great song.
Great song, man.
Clown. You can go older, go to Clown.
Yeah.
Really good. I'm a big corn fan. Big corn fan. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawbillsTire.com. Today, I had hand-delivered my copy of the Modern Tire Dealer magazine with Miss Beth Barron on the cover. Modern Tire Dealer of the Year. Been telling you, Miss Beth Barron over at Shawbills was named the Modern Tire Dealer of the Year. It's a national award of all the tire dealers in the country. Miss Beth Barron over at Shawbills, named Modern Tire Dealer of the Year. Awesome. I'm thrilled for her. A lot of our staff got to go to Morgan City today, visit with her for a bit. I'm obviously here on air, so didn't get to go, but still an amazing honor and so well-deserved for a company that I've been thrilled, and I have had the honor to be able to endorse for many, many years now because they do great work. And I love telling you about great companies, great local companies that are committed to Louisiana, committed to our communities, that do great work in so many different industries. And Shawbills is a shining star, and they have been since 1968 when Mr. Charlie opened the doors. Go to the website, you'll see the Shawbills Customer Bill of Rights. It's rights that they believe every customer that walks through the door is entitled to, like to be treated like family, to not be upsold or charged, to have a clean place to sit and wait for your vehicle. Things like that matter so much, and it's why people come back year after year after year, and they've been doing it since 1968. It's Shawbills. ShawbillsTire.com. To shop tires, schedule your service. It's all there at ShawbillsTire.com. Shawbills, we keep you rolling. All right, y'all. Good show so far. Thanks for being here with us. We opened up talking about Kamara's contract extension. Dug a little deeper into the matchup with LSU's offensive line against A&M's defensive line, Mike Elko. So there's $10 million on the line Saturday. Well, I guess literally and figuratively. Well, I guess not literally. There wouldn't be $10 million literally sitting on a line, figuratively speaking. But we are talking about the lines of scrimmage, but also maybe there's some duality, the lines of scrimmage and on the line at stake, I guess we could say, with a bunch of dudes that are projected first-rounders, both on the A&M defensive line, the LSU offensive line. We'll see you Wednesday. I gave my thoughts. All that's on demand at 1045ESPN.com or the After Further Review YouTube channels. Just go to YouTube, search After Further Review. You'll see it all right there. Okay, let me not got a break. We'll come back. We usually have Tigers in the pros. And in hour 3, we do have the Saints injury report. Saints are getting healthier as they head out west, take on the Chargers, see what they can salvage this season. Russ Mitchell will be here in 30 minutes. Talk a little SEC football. We're looking forward to it. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Oh, I got a picture today from my buddy Jareth Knockan over at Glow Resources. So I told you, one of the things I often tell you about Glow is people sometimes do business with Glow because they're just really fun to work with and to deal with, and they're great at what they do. And Glow went and built out their new corporate headquarters. They were in downtown Baton Rouge. They moved to a new location on Perkins Road, right at Quail Oak. If you drive by it, you'll see it. I mean, they've remade that part of Perkins Road near Pennington. But the third floor, they're doing a complete renovation remodel of the third floor and turning it into, I don't want to say like a club, like it's like a nightclub or anything, but I mean, they're going to have TV screens and they're going to bring clients and customers and different people. It's going to be phenomenal when it's done. He sent me a picture. Point is, at Glow Resources, they're great at what they do. They also like to have a lot of fun. GLO, glowresources.com.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Kushner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Kushner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Join us at Pro Dreams in Mandeville for our special event, A Day of Champions. Meet LSU National Championship winning head coaches Jay Johnson, Skip Bertman, and Paul Maneri. Don't miss your chance to purchase authentic sports memorabilia, autographed by the champions themselves. It's the perfect opportunity to celebrate LSU baseball and take home a piece of history. Visit pro-dreams.com to get your tickets. See you there.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. Glad you're with us. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. Muso. Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Well, the Houston Texans have signed Devin White. Of course, White was released by the Eagles earlier this month. The signing made official Wednesday morning by Houston. 26 years old, signed with the Eagles in the offseason. A one-year deal. Spent, of course, first 5 seasons in Tampa. Did not appear in a regular season game with Philly before being released. In fact, was inactive for the first 4 games of the season, but did have 83 total tackles in 14 games last season and 2.5 sacks. We'll see if Devin White catches on with the Texans. They host division rival Colts on Sunday.
Weird what's happened to Devin White.
It's baffling to me.
I mean, he wanted a contract extension in Tampa. They couldn't agree to terms. I mean, they picked up his 5th-year option.
Yep.
They couldn't agree to terms. They released him.
He
signs with Philly.
Lost his job in the midst of all that, too.
Like, signs with Philly, didn't play a snap. They signed him to a 1-year, $7.5 million deal. Did not take a snap with Philly.
Wild. I hope it works out, man. And D'Amico Ryan's great defensive coach, so let's see if that
all-pro linebacker.
There too, of course. Yesterday I told you Jalen plays for Kansas. Yesterday we told you that Jaden Daniels' status, quote, highly in doubt with the rib injury for Sunday. That's per Ian Rappaport. It is worth noting today on the injury report, Jaden Daniels,
heard of him?
DNP. With the rib. Unlikely that he plays this Sunday. That's about. He's got a rib.
Ribs.
He's got a rib.
I have ribs for lunch. That's why I'm doing this.
It's Naz Reid was on the field, on the court last night.
Man,
I was struggling, brother. 26 minutes.
4:53 makes sense.
Hey, I went 2-1 in trivia. 26 minutes off the bench, 12 points, 4 boards. Lakers did get the win over the Timberwolves, but a nice start for Naz and a couple former Tigers getting their seasons underway. Of course, the Nets have a whole host of Tigers. Ben Simmons, Trendon Watford, and of course, Cam Thomas. They'll get their season underway. Worth noting, the Brooklyn Nets did not agree to a contract extension with Cam Thomas this offseason. He will play out this season in Brooklyn, then become a restricted free agent with the Nets. We'll see how that goes. Then Tari Eason with the Houston Rockets. Tari, fresh off of injury, played only in 22 games last season, but in the final 2 preseason games looked strong, grabbing 10 boards. They're fired up to have him back on the defensive end. He'll be in the starting lineup tonight for Houston. That is Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. Get on by and test drive one today, y'all. We're getting near the end of the month. End of the month is a great time to buy a new vehicle. Of course, I got to move inventory. This is the time to go. Right now, 2024 Jetta, 3.9% for 60 months or $2,000 customer bonus. Same on the 2024 Taos. It's a great time right now to go test drive a brand new Volkswagen from South Point Volkswagen. The style, the feel, the performance of luxury, the great German engineering, all the safety features without the cost, and manufactured in the good old US of A at their Chattanooga, Tennessee plant. It's South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? All right, y'all, it is after further review. We'll get to the Saints injury report here coming up right after the top of the hour. Saints look like they are going to get a smidge healthier. And also something I want to delve into. We're only going to have Russ for one segment, so I do want to get into some of what the LSU players had to say after practice yesterday. Garrett Nussmeier, Josh Williams, Sage Ryan all met with reporters. And one of the talking points we've really hammered down on this week is how LSU has turned the defense around under Blake Baker here in year one. Sage Ryan talked about that, and he's one of the guys who has had the most notable turnaround, as I've opined, because he's finally playing his natural position. But you'll hear what Sage Ryan had to say coming up here in hour number 3 as well. All right, Sports Center, and then we're back. It's AFR.
AFR.
Y'all, I love telling you about First South Farm Credit. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Of course, you can log on to firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Your first call, your first option should always be First South Farm Credit. Not just here in Louisiana, though. Yes, since 1916, through economic upticks, downturns, the Great Depression, world wars, First South Farm Credit has continued on steady as she goes. And they've done one thing since 1916, help Louisianians buy land. But not just land in Louisiana. See, they have branches in Louisiana, in Mississippi, in Alabama, and they can help you buy land anywhere in the contiguous 48. So if you want that hunting property in Mississippi, you want 50 acres in St. Francisville, you want to buy a ranch in New Mexico, they can help you do it. It's First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthland.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram can get you in a new 2024 Ram 1500 truck for only $32,898. $32,898 for a new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. ESPN's Shams Charania is reporting the NBA will likely begin an investigation into the 76ers surrounding center Joel Embiid's absence and whether there's a violation of the player participation policy. Embiid missed the preseason with left knee injury management, is out at least the first 3 regular season games. The Sixers have already said the plan is to keep Embiid out of back-to-backs this season. It's a complicated situation for the league, the 76ers, and Embiid, notes Shams.
It's not black and white in terms of there is no specific injury. With Joel Embiid, it's been a lot of the new normal that we've been told in terms of the periodic time off that he is scheduled to take this upcoming season, as well as making sure, in his perspective, that he is 100% for the playoffs.
Shams Charania on NBA Today. NFL, the Chiefs filling a need at receiver, finalizing a trade to acquire DeAndre Hopkins from the Titans for a 2025 conditional 5th-round pick. The Browns will start quarterback Jameis Winston this week. Offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey takes over play calling duties. Panthers start QB Bryce Young on Sunday in place of the injured Andy Dalton.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive offers a great price and round-the-clock protection when bundling home and auto. It's one of those rare times where you could save money and get something great. Bundle today at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Woo!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. And Matt.
You're a loser, man!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tom, please. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. And oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
Saints extend Alvin Kamara.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Our boo thing.
Hump day.
Love him so much.
It's hump day.
I love his Alvin Kamara Airheads.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I love his King Kamara Crunch cereal.
Hump day.
I love his visor on his face mask.
It's hump day.
I love that he's the only man in history that made 41 look like a cool number.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I hate that the Saints extended a 30-year-old running back.
Hump day.
Torn.
It's hump day.
Torn.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Taylor Calandro is here.
Hump day.
We talked LSU offensive line against the A&M defensive line.
It's hump day.
Stop me if you've heard this story before.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
A really good defensive line thinks they're going to get off against LSU's offensive line.
Hump day.
Weird.
It's hump day.
How'd they go for Ole Miss?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
How'd they go for Arkansas?
Hump day.
How'd they go for everybody?
It's hump day.
Yeah.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Pels open their season tonight.
Hump day.
Scott Kushner was here.
It's hump day.
He'll be writing for LouisianaSports.net.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Russ Mitchell in 11 minutes.
Hump day.
All right, we got a lot to do, a lot to get to, so let's get going here. We are glad you're here. Hey, remember, you have today and tomorrow still to enter for the Taylor Swift ticket giveaway. Our friends over at Mockler Beverage giving us 2 sweet tickets for the Sunday show. I know everybody knows someone who's trying to get to this concert. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but Mockler is giving us a pair of sweet tickets for Taylor Swift to give away for the Sunday show. Go to 1045ESPN.com. You'll see right on the homepage, 1045ESPN.com. You don't have to do anything to enter. Just go fill out the entry form. That's it, and you're entered to win. We'll announce the winner Friday at 5 p.m. right here on AFR. Do not fall for scams. Do not fall for scams. You will get a call from me alerting you that you have won. Do not fall for a scam. There's scams everywhere. Do not fall for a scam. I will call you and tell you you won if you won. I got a text on the show text line from Matt French, who said, Matt, tell me again why we're talking about the Pelicans. It's not Christmas yet. Though we don't talk about the Pelicans till Christmas. Worked in the years past. Well, Matt, the point that I always made was, and it's true. So for years, the bit on this show was like, in October, how do I justify talking about the Pelicans in October when you're right in the middle of football season and you can't really justify talking about the Pelicans? And then they went and got relevant. They won the play-in. And the year after they won the play-in tournament and then played the best of 7 series against Phoenix, there was so much hype around the team. And so I said, look, we don't have to play the bit like it's Christmas or whatever. So my rule has always been we don't talk about the Pelicans until Christmas. We don't talk about the NBA until Christmas. And so we would play Christmas music and all that stuff because they were relevant. But I don't know. It's kind of fair now to ask. Like, I feel like like a lot of you, have gotten to the point where it's the fool me once thing. It's like Lucy. Pulling the football out from Charlie Brown. I mean, how many times am I going to get excited about this team only to be disappointed? So I guess that's just where I am. I'm just not expecting them. I'm very excited about the DeJounte Murray. Excited that they have a true point guard. I'm excited that Zion.
Present.
Yeah, we got to do that. Yeah. I was wondering why we didn't do it when Kushner was here.
It didn't dawn on me until right when I heard you say it. I was just like, oh, wait, we have a Murray again.
Yeah. Well, we did it when they signed him.
So I don't remember that.
Yeah. No, we did the whole Murray thing.
I don't doubt that, but I don't remember that.
The weed can do that to you.
That
brain cells.
That and when was that? Like June?
Summer, yeah.
Summer? I mean, there's a lot that's been happening since then.
You pulled John Isner, okay? Don't give me the June thing.
It was a famous match.
Yeah, and DeJounte Murray's an all-star point guard.
Murray, present.
I like it.
I know, it was really good. It's really good. I like it a lot, too. We've been blessed with a lot of Murrays around here.
We really have. It's kind of the gift that just keeps on giving.
It really is. You derailed me. I don't know what I was saying. Let's just move on. It's after further review. Glad you're with us. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. So the Saints are back at practice. We still don't have the official injury report yet, which is weird. I mean, usually comes out as we're starting the show around like 3 o'clock Central Time. So the fact that they still haven't put out the official injury report is odd, but during the media availability of practice there, during the viewing period, they could obviously notice who was there and who wasn't, notably. So our guy Ross Jackson over at LouisianaSports.net was at practice today, as he is every day. Notable players returning to practice today: Chris Olave, Pete Werner, Cesar Ruiz, Colin Saunders. He also noted that Taysom Hill, Lucas Patrick were also there. Now, we don't know their injury designation yet. They did participate on a limited basis last week, but didn't play. But now you are getting healthier. Yes, it stands to reason. If you've got Lucas Patrick, Cesar Ruiz, Taysom Hill, Chris Olave, all back on your offense, you're going to be better. 4 of your 5 starters on the offensive line will be back. Your top receiver should be back. Taysom Hill, your most versatile weapon, should be back. I'm not saying that means Spencer Rattler's going to go and look like Tom Brady, but it is obvious and stands to reason, yes, you'll be better when you have all of your guys there. And defensively, Last week or last hour, we had David Droegemeier here who covers the Chargers. And he said, listen, this is a pretty simple explanation with the Chargers. When they run the ball, they win. When they don't, they don't. So the Saints have given up back-to-back 200-yard rushing games. They're 30th in the NFL right now in rush defense. Only the Colts and Panthers are worse. You get Pete Werner, Colin Saunders back. You get a little mini bye to reset, maybe get healthy and rested. Maybe you can go out to L.A. and put forth a good effort defensively so you can muddy this thing up and make it a game, maybe steal one. We'll see. But Saints are getting healthier, and it's a really good thing to see. All right, it's after further review. You can email us, tweet us, text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. All right, Russ is ready. So let's do this. We'll take this break here. We'll come back on the other side. We'll talk to Russ. We're only going to have one segment with Russ today, but we'll make it a little bit of a longer segment so we have plenty of time. We'll talk to him about, obviously, the Georgia win over Texas, Tennessee beating Bama, LSU's dominant win at Arkansas, and we'll talk about the big game of this weekend, which is LSU Texas A&M. It's really the marquee game of the entire college football weekend. We'll get into all of it with Russ Mitchell next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Y'all, if you go to the Cleggs Facebook page, I tell you all the time, make sure you're following Cleggs on Facebook because anytime they get new shipments or they have updates, they always post them there on their Facebook page. They have some photos today of their pumpkin selection. You've heard me talk about this, like if you're looking for pumpkins and hay bales and squash and gourds and all that sort of stuff, get by Cleggs. It is amazing, which seems like thousands of pumpkins they have in their selection over at Cleggs. Any of the 4 locations, Siegen near Airline, LA16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Different sizes, different colors. They have giant pumpkins bigger than your head. They have the little mini pumpkins if you need them for carving, if you need them for the pumpkin pie, if you need them for decorating for Halloween with the kiddos. Cleggs has or just want them for decoration on your front porch, back patio, whatever it may be. Cleggs has your greatest selection. Get on by and see him at Cleggs Nursery.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. Russ Mitchell.
Kicking the tires and lighting the fires. Russ! Literally.
Well, I'm proud of Russ. I think Russ deserves it.
It's football! Rusty, come on up here. Absolutely, I thought that was going to happen because it's state. It's supposed to happen.
You know, I haven't had much of a chance to talk to you man to man, Russ.
How are things out there at DBU?
I want you to stay here and take care of things, Russ.
The only way you can point up is up.
Not going in our yard, Russ. It's going in our living room.
It's like Troy.
Can't see the line, can you, Russ?
Put your foot on his throat and choke him out.
Take it, Russ.
All right, let's get it. Courtesy of us at Parish Construction and Roofing. Our visit with Russ Mitchell. He's on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB. How are you?
Oh, kicking tires, lighting fires. You know, I woke up this morning, Matt.
Oh, God. What are you wearing?
It was a good day. Hold on, we'll get to that in a sec. It was a good morning. I had a lovely cup of coffee with my favorite creamer and was looking at the birds and the sun coming up and everything. And only to have it be spoiled by the reminder of LSU fans storming the field after beating Ole Miss.
You and I are the only two humans that are bothered by that. Everybody else seems to think it's great.
It's just so embarrassing.
It is embarrassing.
It's just embarrassing. Anyway, yes, I wore my Oklahoma Sooners shirt only because I think they're going 1-7, and I'm feeling a little, hoping to make them feel a little better.
I mean,
yeah.
Is this a welcome to the SEC, or is this just an Oklahoma team that you think would have struggled even if they were still in the Big 12?
Well, I mean, the offense is ranked almost dead last in the country.
Yes.
First time that they've been held below 10 points in consecutive games since the last century. 11 turnovers in 7 games. I mean, but despite the changes that they're making now with Joe John taking over and the guy who was the OC at Duke being a co-coordinator, like I wouldn't want my name anywhere near this offense this year, but whatever, Kevin, whatever. They're still playing with 2 green quarterbacks, 3rd string wide receivers, and a failing offensive line. So, I mean, you could put Parcells, Tom Brady Jesus could come down from heaven almighty, and that offense is still going to struggle. So it just so happens that it happened while they were in the SEC. But it's also because our schedule is tough as hell. Our teams are tough as hell. The difference, the delta, in the Big 12, when you drop down to the bottom of the league, you're not playing big, strong players the way you are in the SEC. So, I think Oklahoma's getting a rude awakening to what it's like to play an entire season in this conference.
I think you're spot on. There's no Houston, UCF, Kansas.
No, you look the other way. You look the other way, and State will punch you in the face and step on your chest, right? I mean, South Carolina will put 21 points on you in 5 offensive plays, and eat you for lunch. So there's a massive, massive difference in quality. And by the way, you're seeing it with USC and UCLA. And I hate to be too giddy about this, because I don't like laughing at other people's suffering, but it has irritated me for my entire career, more than 3 decades covering this sport, listening to teams that played in the ACC or play in the Pac-12, which is now defunct. But like, if you can win your conference 7 straight years in a row, that's not a real conference.
It's a fair point. All right, we don't have to talk about Oklahoma again until they come to Baton Rouge. I'm done. They're irrelevant. I don't want to talk about them. I do want to talk about Alabama. Speaking of teams that could get punched in the mouth and lose. Bama goes to Tennessee. They lose. I don't know. Some people saw this coming. Not everybody saw this coming. Some people did. How bad are they?
Some people would say Bama's burning.
Some would, and they'd be really smart. And they draw the ire of every Alabama fan, and they would laugh their ass off every time the Bama fans scurry like ants when they kick the anthill.
As I think you pointed out, half of this team didn't play for Nick Saban, right? They've had so much turnover. I think I read somewhere that
it's like 41 players, like draft, portal.
Yeah. He was the coach last year, and half of the team didn't play for him. I mean, you were spot on, man. But we talked about this last week and the week before. There's no discipline right now with this team. You saw the penalty by Kendrick Law.
Yeah.
At third down. He's a Louisiana kid, right? Shreveport?
Don't you love to see it?
Just terrible. And then after the game, Caleb Odom, the tweeting out stuff about his quarterback, dude, bro.
Did you see this week? Like I got sent an article today that the players this week are talking about. They're focusing on the little things like tucking in their shirts and being on time.
How about tackling, man? Look, it's still, everyone wants to talk about Milroe and the offense. Dude, it's about defense. This total defense entered that game against Tennessee, ranked 13th out of 16 teams in conference play. They're still they're now 15th. The total defense is ranked 15th out of 16 teams in the conference.
Yeah.
They're still 15th in being able to get opposing teams off the field on third down. Their defense is woeful. It's a lack of discipline. And it's, they still have studs all over the team, and they're still a very, very, but they struggled at the end against Georgia. They struggled the following week against South Carolina. They struggled against Tennessee. It's a good team, and they're just not a great team, and I don't see great years in the future for them.
Do you think they're in trouble this weekend against Missouri?
Yeah, absolutely. Missouri's a good team. I mean, Missouri's not a great team. I mean, I don't think Georgia's a great team, by the way, either. I don't think there is a great team. Even though they lost head-to-head, it was in Tuscaloosa on a neutral field. I put Georgia slightly ahead. But, Missouri's a solid team. It'll all come down to Cook and how healthy he is, because you can come back from the hospital, which, by the way, come on, Auburn. Have you ever heard of a player coming back from the hospital and winning a game?
I'm sure at some point someone can look up something where it happened, where someone went and got checked out and came back, something like that. But no, I mean, most venues, Russ, are equipped with X-ray and MRI. Like LSU has an X-ray room in their locker room. So players can go into the locker room and get an X-ray. So no, I haven't. I'm not sure that I have heard of this specifically, but it was incredible to watch.
So, if he's healthy and able to play and they can get Burton lit up, this is a team that can certainly play as good, if not better, than South Carolina. And South Carolina had him on the ropes, and I think this is an Alabama team that's unraveling around the edges, as evidenced by the fact that they're focusing on tucking their shirts in and being on time.
Bro, I'm telling you, I was looking at the headline just a second ago. It was from Bama 247. I got it sent to me earlier today. It was They're focused on the little things, including tucking in their shirts and being on time. Can you imagine Nick Saban having to stress to his team to be on time? Like, that's, Russ, we were at media days this year, and I remember having this conversation with my buddy Ryan Fowler, who does radio in Tuscaloosa, and one of the things he said to me, I told you this, I think we might have talked about it when we were in L.A., in Vegas. One of the things he told me was, there's just a different feeling around the building where it's just like it's easier. There's not as much tension. Everybody's just walking, not looking over their shoulder because of the standard Nick held everybody to. And the point I made was, man, that was the standard. That was the reason that you were great for so long.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't think that standard's healthy.
Worked for 17 years, dog.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think it's particularly healthy to send 112 pieces of mail to a 17-year-old on the same day. I don't think it's healthy to do a lot of the things that Nick made a standard. It's part of the reason why he ran through people so quickly, but everybody wanted to coach there, and he was excellent. I don't think, and it hasn't killed him. He's still alive. So that's why he's the best.
You mentioned Georgia, that you don't think Georgia's great. Boy, Georgia's defense sure is great. I don't know that anybody can argue that at this point. They're still great.
Yeah, I'll argue it.
They had a bad half of football against Bama where their quarterback turned it over 4 times.
You clearly didn't watch the state game.
Yes, I did. You mean in the second half when they had the game completely in cruise control and then let up? Yeah, I watched that game.
The problem with this year's
I also watched them suffocate Clemson and Texas, 2 offenses that are dramatically better than Mississippi State's.
And Clemson's offense has clearly gotten better as the season's gone on. The problem that I have with this Georgia team is that, they throughout the season, they have, for the most part, played either up to or down to the competition that they've been playing against. That's not an elite team. Look at elite teams like Georgia from a few years ago, or Alabama, or LSU in 2019. Those teams play an elite caliber the whole way through. Right now, when you think about Georgia under the Kirby era, you think about run defense, right? 2019, number 1 in the conference. 2020, number 1. 2021, number 1. Last year, number 2. You know what their run defense is right now in conference play? 6th. Last year, their pass defense in conference play was best. Number 1. You know what they are right now? 13th. So, yeah, I think this is a very, very good Georgia team that on any day, in fact, most days, could beat anybody. But they're just as capable. They're just as capable as throwing up a dud.
And the only way they lose is if Beck turns the ball over 4 times. He did.
By the way,
he did it 3 times in Austin. They still blew him out.
It's funny that you say that because it's interesting. Georgia, if you go back and you look at Kirby, in turnover margin, his first year in 2016, they were the number 1 team in the SEC in turnover margin.
Okay.
But after that, they pretty much have been roughly around 6, 7, 6, like right around there, all the way up to this year. This year, they're 12th.
Yeah, there's no doubt, man. Beck turns the ball over a ton.
Another drop. And again, I have them ranked in my top 5. I think they're a very good team. They're just a tick down. Bama's 2 or 3 ticks down from Saban. This year's Georgia team, they're not playing with the same confidence. I think that's what it is. They're just, and I think it's because their run defense can't stop teams the way they have in the past.
What do you think about LSU going to Arkansas and winning as convincingly as they did?
Bruh, it's Arkansas. First of all,
that was an Arkansas team that was averaging 200 rush yards a game. They held them to 38.
Yeah, that's not. By the way, it's great to hold them to 38. But also, Green was injured. He only carried 6 times, where he'd been averaging 15 carries a game. He had negative 10 yards, and because most of those 6 were scrambles. I'm not saying it wasn't impressive, and it sure is lovely to play Arkansas in October.
No doubt, right?
Instead of the weekend after Alabama, it's lovely to play them, and show them what LSU is like in, the Halloween month instead of after we've played Alabama. But yeah, it was impressive. 3 turnovers, that was impressive, to 0, except until you realize Arkansas is dead last in the conference in turnover margin. So time of possession was good. It was the kind of trouncing that you would expect a top 10 team to put on Arkansas on the road. So I was pleased.
So LSU's an underdog this week in College Station. Pretty decided edge at quarterback for LSU at this point.
Oh, yeah.
But what do you think about – look, man, if LSU goes and wins this game this weekend, it's hard to fathom a scenario where they don't make the playoff. 3 out of your Final 4 at home, and you have a game to play with. I mean, if they go beat A&M, it would be like an upset if they weren't in the playoff.
Yeah, I mean, could even lose to Alabama, and right now I have LSU as favorites in all those games, particularly with Alabama. I think it's going to come down to pass protection. LSU has been doing a great job keeping Nussmeier's jersey clean, only allowing him to be pressured on about 20% of his pass plays. I think that has as much to do with the plays that have been called and how quickly he's reading the defenses and getting the ball out of his hand. But whatever the reason, he's not getting sacked. So here comes a Texas A&M defense that has done really well pressuring quarterbacks, right? And done really well in the turnover battle. And LSU's done a good job protecting the ball and done a good job protecting the quarterback. So I think that takes away from some of the strengths of Texas A&M going into this game. What's the spread?
2.5 or 3.
LSU's getting 2.5, right?
Yeah, neutral field, this would be a pick 'em.
Yeah.
In College Station, the Aggies get a field goal. So it's about 2.5, 3, depending on where you shop.
You know that LSU has consistently outperformed betting expectations against A&M. Against the spread, the Tigers are 12-1 in the last 13 games.
That's interesting.
Now, I know 2.5, you could still lose by 2, but I think this is closer to a pick 'em. I like LSU in this game. I think LSU wins on the road.
Yeah, I'm struggling to find where, aside from being at home and LSU going back to back on the road, where A&M has an advantage.
I would say Le'Veon Moss has been running the ball really well. If he goes off, if they're able to do that, I think that would be the one area. If we look back and A&M walks away from this as a winner, it'll be because Moss has had a really big game.
He's Russ Mitchell on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB. Our chats each Wednesday here brought to you by Parrish Construction and Roofing, parrishbuilt.com. We'll get you a hat too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I don't wear hats that often, but there you go.
Get out of here. Have a great one. We'll see you.
Bye.
All right, that's Russ Mitchell. Of course, we appreciate Parrish Construction and Roofing, parrishbuilt.com. Tell you every day, do business with someone you know. That's me, that's Terrio, that's Richard Tilley, that's Joe Morales, that's Trent Davis, that's our whole crew. If it's commercial or residential, 2 things I want to remind you of. Number 1, just let us come do a free, no-obligation roofing inspection. Storm season having passed, hail, high wind, heavy rain. You'd never know if you have roof damage until one of 2 things happens. You get a roof inspection, or it rains and you get water in your house. And you could have damage that you don't know, and then a slow drip and leak could be in your attic, and then you only see it when you start to see water spots. Well, the way to prevent that is to let us come do an inspection now. It's free. You don't even have to be home. And you'll have a full inspection report on your roof. So the next time a storm comes, you can cross-check it and say, oh, look, we had this inspection done in October of 2024. Here's what our roof looked like then. Here's what happened now. We can directly trace this damage, whatever it may be, to the storm that happened. So we can hold your hand through the whole process. Go to the website, parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com, fill out the form. We'll get to you. And then, of course, our commercial division as well. Matt Pearson, our commercial roofing manager, is just the best. We hired Matt recently from the state of Florida. We said our commitment is we wanted to have the absolute best people. And there is literally nobody that I have ever met that knows more about every type of commercial roof. There's just nothing he hasn't seen. I know that's a double negative, but Matt's the best. So if you want to learn how our maintenance program can help you maintain the roof on your commercial building, trying to avoid the very costly replacement, we can maintain and extend the life of your roof as well. Got options. Give us a shout. We'd love to work with you. Parrish Construction and Roofing, parrishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. Parrish Construction and Roofing. Visit parrishbuilt.com. Okay, y'all, it's After Further Review. Appreciate Russ for hanging out with us here. We got Otter Locks coming up in about 12 minutes. If you want to get Otter Locks now, you can get them online at louisianasports.net. Remember, Hunt posts Otter Locks at louisianasports.net as soon as Jimmy gets him the picks here. So if you want them before he gets them on air, you can get them at louisianasports.net every single day. Everything, always, at louisianasports.net is free. No paywalls, no subscriptions, no article limits, no annoying pop-up ads, just content you want, totally for free. So hope you'll check it out and support our great sponsors as well, louisianasports.net. Okay, quick break. We'll come back, continue on, then we'll get to Otter Locks here in about a dozen minutes. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Remember, right now is the time to get your pre-season heater safety check. 752-0001, 752-0001. Mention the Moscona special. They'll knock $30 off that price. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Let them come by. Let them get in your attic. Let them check on that heater to make sure it's clean and it's safe. You want it running efficiently so it saves you money. And most importantly, you want it safely to protect your home and, more importantly, your family. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. You should do this standard maintenance every single year. You should never let a year go by without doing this maintenance. You wouldn't drive across the country without getting the oil change in your car. You shouldn't go without having your home central heater maintenance. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
The only thing scary about the deals at Bayou Ford is if you miss out on them, like $15,000 off F-150. Bayou Ford has $15,000 off Ford F-150. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment. Dave's back on. Coors Light. Choose chill.
At Atmos Energy, our smart choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
The only thing scary about the deals at Bayou Ford is if you miss out on them, like $15,000 off F-150. Bayou Ford has $15,000 off Ford F-150. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Well, it is the largest SEC stadium. I mean, I've been there. I'm being from Houston. I know all about A&M. My little brother went there for a couple years. Just the culture they have, that 12th man, it means a lot to them. And they get really rowdy, a lot of towel waving. So we know going into College Station, we have to come in as a team and put our backs against the wall and burn the ship and really bring it home with us. So we're excited.
The irony of waving white towels as a rallying cry. Because obviously in wartime, white towel, white flag is a surrender. They wave it sort of as a rallying cry. But whatever, to each their own, whoop, and all that stuff. I wonder if Hunt the Good Ag's going to pay us a visit this year. Maybe not.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think we should do that.
Hunt the Good Ag showed up one time, and that's when a 4-win Texas A&M team ended up beating LSU. So, I mean, I think the football gods looked at Hunt the Good Ag as a turncoat and said, okay, well, Hunt the Good Ag, Here you go. Here's your win for the Aggies, Hunt the Good Ag. If you don't know what we're talking about, Hunt Palmer, who is part of our radio lineup here in Baton Rouge and also anchors our LSU coverage at LouisianaSports.net. I don't know a soul, literally a soul, that has more disdain for Texas A&M than Hunt Palmer. I don't. I don't know anybody that has more disdain for them. I don't really care about, I shouldn't say I don't care about A&M, but I just don't, I'm not emotionally moved by A&M. The way you would be for a lot of schools, because A&M came in the league and didn't beat LSU for a decade. And so it was like, whatever. Yeah, I mean, the 7 overtime thing got a lot. I get why people do. I'm not there. But Hunt is all the way there. He just thinks everything about him is ridiculous, which he kind of is, but it's a different level. I don't know any other way to explain it. He'd have to explain it. So 2 years ago, I had the idea. We did our Black Friday show because we'll do shows on Black Friday. So Hunt was on. I was like, Hunt, I got an idea for a bit. And so Hunt basically turned. He got, quote unquote, indoctrinated into Aggie culture. And so we played the Aggie War Hymn, and he did the swaying thing and the whoops. And he just took so many veiled shots at A&M during the whole thing, which was hilarious, about Johnny Football and going to the Mayo Bowl or whatever. And anyway, it was fantastic. It's on the internet. You can find it. Just search Hunt the Good Ag and you'll find it. That's what we're referring to. Anyway, Tigers are walking into a big game on Saturday, but it is interesting because what Russ just alluded to there when we were talking to him about the Arkansas game being in November forever. Like, LSU has always been at an emotional disadvantage in the Arkansas game. And we could argue they were this time as well, because coming off the Ole Miss win, but either that Friday after Thanksgiving or the week after the Bama game, it was just, and late in the season. It's the first time we've seen LSU in 20 years play Arkansas in October. And it went really well. You got a healthier team that's getting better, as opposed to a team late in the season that either already knew its postseason fate or whatever the case may be. Same here. A&M has been a game that LSU has played, except for that first year when Johnny Football came into the SEC, when they played it in October, and that season, early season game. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was after the hammer and the nail game, like the week after LSU lost at Florida in that was it 12-10, whatever the final score was of that game, the hammer and the nail game down in Gainesville. LSU played in College Station, I think, the next week, and just put Johnny Manziel in a box. He did nothing in that game. It was the only game all season. He did nothing. But aside from that, LSU's been playing A&M in November at the last playing date of the season. So this will be different as well, playing them earlier. But it's a huge opportunity. And I thought it was so interesting because Tuesday night is player availability, where LSU makes their players available to the media. And Sage Ryan was one of the players that spoke with reporters. And one of the things that I have talked about this week and believe firmly is, and Brian Kelly said it Monday, and I think there's a lot of connective tissue that point to this conclusion, which is a big reason why Blake Baker has turned things around, has been the culture. He's gotten to know the players, and they play hard for him, and he's simplified things, and they're playing freer and faster. It's a lot of the same guys. And Sage Ryan talked about turning things around under Blake Baker.
It feels great. We work tremendously hard, throughout the offseason and during the season. Under Coach Blake Baker, it's just been phenomenal. He brings the energy in each and every day, and it makes you want to, go hard each and every day and go play hard on Saturday. So it's just been a pleasure.
a very different comment than what people were saying, players were saying about Matt House. I mean, you could look at Mekhi Wingo's tweet. We referenced how Mekhi Wingo responded to Jamar Cain's tweet from after the Broncos won, and Jamar Cain kind of threw shade, he threw shade at Matt House, put the house emoji equals clown emoji, and Mekhi Wingo kind of quote tweeted it and laughed. But this is another one. Bryce Kuhn had this tweet where he talked about Brian Kelly praising the work LSU Blake Baker has done building relationships with the defense. Mekhi Wingo went and quote tweeted it, said culture greater than play calling. He's continuing to tell you the story here. The defensive culture at LSU under Matt House was very bad for whatever reason. Matt House is a smart defensive coach. He's a good defensive coach. He has run good defenses. But clearly he lost the locker room on that side of the ball. Another part, aside from just the culture, is the fit within the scheme, meaning playing players in the right position. One of the things that has been my contention about Sage Ryan is a lot of LSU fans have criticized him because he was a former five-star, and when you come in as a five-star, there's always expectation. But the thing that I've said over and over about Sage Ryan is his entire career he played out of position. He had an injured hamstring as a freshman. He played nickel. He played boundary corner last year. Now he's finally playing safety. And he was asked about his comfort in this defense finally playing his natural position.
Playing all those positions have helped me to play, fast and free because I know every spot on the field from corner to nickel to safety. But I'm really grounded and comfortable at safety, controlling the defense from the high end and just getting guys in order and helping them to, play fast and free too. Making the call from the back end, I kind of feel like the quarterback on the back end of the defense, the secondary. So it's a good feeling to be, where I needed to be from the beginning.
It's a good feeling to be where I needed to be from the beginning. Like, I don't need to say it anymore. He just told you the answer. Yeah, you got guys playing in position, in the right position, playing fast and free and confident. I mean, I'm not telling you got a defense littered with all SEC or all American players and first-round picks. You don't. I mean, those guys are coming. I mean, DJ Pickett's coming. But the guys you have are plenty good enough to be way better than they were a year ago, and Blake Baker's maximizing that, which is great to see. All right, y'all, it's after further review. Hey, Supper Club. Y'all, tomorrow is the day, man. Thursday is the day to get by Supper Club. 2 reasons in particular. Well, actually, I'm going to give you a third. Number 1, Thursday prime rib. 1 day only special. Chef Layton serves up 21-day dry-aged, bone-in tomahawk ribeye, prime rib, cut and served tableside. Thursday only. You want to try something different, something absolutely exquisite. Thursday only at Supper Club. Also, the wine feature this week, it's a 2011 Chateau Latour. It's first growth Bordeaux. 1 ounce pour is $65. The normal menu price is $3,990. It's a $4,000 bottle of wine. You can try it for $65 an ounce. Only Thursday at Supper Club. The other thing, stone crabs. We got them in this week. They are awesome. Jumbo size is available. This is seasonal. So, again, you want to try the tomahawk ribeye, the prime rib. You want to try the stone crabs at Supper Club. Get in to Supper Club. You go right now. They're open. Open seating at the bar. But Thursday is the day to get by Supper Club. SupperClubBTR.com. SupperClubBTR.com. Okay, y'all, final break of the show. We'll come back. Do a little Otter Locks, find out what we're betting on tonight. Some college football on the slate. That's next. It's AFR.
After further review.
AFR is brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Hey, download the Rouse's app. Remember, they have delivery and curbside pickup options. If you go to the Rouse's app, you'll see the curbside pickup option. Select your items in the app. Your personal shopper will go pick them out for you. You pull up into the spot. Boom, they bring your items to your vehicle, and you don't ever have to get out of the car. If you need to save time, or maybe you got the kiddos with you, and it's a nightmare to walk around the grocery store with all the kiddos. Well, here's an easy way to shop. Rouse's makes it easy, and, of course, they love their locally sourced items. I mean, it's so incredible. They have handshake deals with some fishermen, along the Louisiana Gulf Coast. Just Louisiana fishermen, shrimpers that have been sourcing and servicing Rouse's for years. It's amazing. Great local company. Rouse's, this feels like home.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales service and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram can get you in a new 2024 Ram 1500 truck for only $32,898. $32,898 for a new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road,
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers. Pluckers, let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Otter, how are you?
Good, Matt. Well, that was some exciting offensive football last night, huh?
I tell you what, man. Muse's team, Miners, they're doing work out there now.
They are, huh? They got it. That was that wasn't a toughie. That was that was the right side. What is it? The points were the way to go. But I tell you what, FIU should have won outright. I mean, the only touchdown was a 2-yard drive for Sam Houston State after a blocked one out of bounds at the 2. So, I mean, just really test your degenerative commitment here. I can tell you that.
It happens, but I'm here for it, Otter. I'm here for it. I'm here with you for it.
So what do we do? One 0-6 team is on its way. Let's go to another 0-6.
Let's go back to the well.
I'm
ready.
Kennesaw State.
You darn right.
What's their nickname?
They played baseball here last year. Weren't they? When did last year? When were they for a regional?
The Southern Miss regional.
Let's go get the
Owls. Southern Miss. The what?
The Owls. Liberty. Remember, Liberty, big favorites in all their games. They went to the BCS Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl last year. Scored 7, then got smoked by Bo Nix and the Oregon Ducks. And we went against them last time, Matt, and they just continue to kind of struggle. They're winning, but they're not winning impressively. We're going to take all those points in Kennesaw State, who still is playing hard at home tonight. But we are going to lay the points in the other game with Jacksonville State. So Middle Tennessee State, they're another one of these teams in this conference that are struggling. So not the case for Jacksonville State after a slow start.
1 minute remaining.
Got a team playing much better. So we're going to lay the points. They started out 0-3. They're now 3-3. And those 3 wins where they've averaged over 50 points a game, it's going to take a lot of points. They're the one team in the conference that's putting up points. We'll take Rich Rod, the Gamecocks, Jacksonville State minus the points.
All right, Lane, 3 touchdowns there with Jacksonville State. Kennesaw State's plus 27 right now at DraftKings. I know when you gave to Hunt, it was 26. So I say chalk early, dogs late. Get an even better number right now. Where are you tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're downtown at Chili Pearl.
Very good. And what a good time to be downtown with the doors open. God, it's perfect weather for all that. Y'all go see Otter and Handy tomorrow for lunch, live at lunch. All right, Otter, good luck, man. Thank you.
All right, good luck. Thanks.
All right, we're getting out of here. If you missed anything, AFR On Demand, presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org. Podcast or, we're out. Mute.
After further review.
Hey. As we get on down the road. Remind you about Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com. Hey, look, if you weigh or measure something, they sell, service, rent the products you use to weigh and measure. Over at Michelli, they like to say, we show the world what measurement can do. So use the website as a resource, okay? ISO 17025 accreditation is available, accredited calibration. If you want to see a list of all their services, go to the website, hit the services tab right there on the homepage. And this is what a lot of people use to sort of see what most people know Michelli for scales, but they're a comprehensive solution not only for scale service, for equipment maintenance, calibration, preventative maintenance, weighing systems, your inspections and certificates. They repair your equipment, do installation. You can learn more about all of it at Michelli.com. At Michelli, we show the world what measurement can do. Michelli.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram can get you in a new 2024 Ram 1500 truck for only $32,898. $32,898 for a new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Join us at Pro Dreams in Mandeville for our special event, A Day of Champions. Meet LSU National Championship winning head coaches Jay Johnson, Skip Bertman, and Paul Maneri. Don't miss your chance to purchase authentic sports memorabilia, autographed by the champions themselves. It's the perfect opportunity to celebrate LSU baseball and take home a piece of history. Visit pro-dreams.com to get your tickets. See you there.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Brack, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana